I don't want to be right.
What would Socrates say to that? It tickles my fancy.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't care.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me.
Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at
Hey. Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit her with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. Better have about me, boy. Okay. Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Stills in the sauce with the show, and till then is half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive by the motor. No proof. I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever traded. You know what? What is a star? Like under the city, the driver's side fly. Gucci get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the P. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Hands up as ever, cute as can be. You can watch on YouTube with me for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
Spring Break Friday here on the Tobin and Leroy Show. Can't ruin a Friday, right? That's what Joe Rose always says. I am Alex Donno in for Tobin.
The weather could ruin a Friday.
What could ruin a Friday?
The weather.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's been a little cloudy this morning. It's not raining yet down by me. It's supposed to rain. Is it raining there in El Portal?
It's raining in El Portal.
It's heading my way then. It's probably heading my way. And I did tell, and we got Vlad with us today. Leroy's doing God knows what today. His family's in France. He's probably out living the life today, enjoying a little spring break action for him. But Vlad, I told Marcos he's going to have to show himself today. At some point today, Marcos is going to show himself because I missed out on the spring break trivia. Like, you guys had your GOATs brackets with Marcos in the days I wasn't on for Tobin. You guys had the MTV spring break trivia. I need to be a part of some of that. So Marcos is going to show his face today. If anything could ruin my Friday, it was the Florida Panthers on a Thursday. Panthers dropped their third straight game. By the way, let's get into some headlines here. Driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know
No truck.
So the Panthers, they didn't just lose. They didn't score a goal last night at home. They got shut out 3-0 by the Nashville Predators. Miami Heat are back in action tonight. They're going to host Dan Day's Pelicans as 3.5-point favorites this evening. Inter Miami will be back in action tomorrow. They're going to be on the road at New York Red Bulls. And, so far, Vlad, do you want to hear my confession, Vlad? I'm un-American. I was told yesterday that I am un-American. Do you know what I didn't do this year?
What didn't you do?
What didn't you do? Fill out a bracket. I did bet on individual games, but I did not fill out a bracket. Second straight year, I didn't fill out a bracket. So it's not like I'm not paying attention at all to the NCAA tournament. I'm kind of silent protesting because the Miami Hurricanes were so bad this year after a Final Four run last year. Like, I don't care about the tournament this year. I am betting on some games on the Hard Rock app, but I did not fill out a bracket. Am I un-American for that?
I guess this is the un-American show.
You didn't fill out a bracket either.
I didn't fill out a bracket either.
Do you think Marcos filled out a bracket?
I don't think anybody filled out a bracket.
Did Jay Fig fill out a bracket?
Nope, I don't think so. There was no brackets. Nothing was
Leroy?
done in the station. Nothing. I think we talked more about the women.
Said no.
I think we talked more about the women's game than we did the men's tournament.
Well, and the women's team, I got a couple things to say about that. First of all, the Miami women's team, they should have been in the tournament. They got screwed. All the bracket projections had them getting in. And then I don't know how much it had to do with her decision, but Katie Meyer, who's done just an incredible job for the past almost 20 years as the head coach of the Miami women's basketball team. She was hired while I was in school there. And I know Katie very well. I covered her at Miami. I covered her when I was out of school at Miami. Unbelievable. She retired. She announced yesterday she's retiring. She's having a press conference today. It might even be going on right now to officially announce her retirement. I feel so bad that, like, Katie Meyer's final act was to see her team get just hosed and not included in the women's tournament bracket. So I feel terrible for her.
Yeah, but they kind of gave Miami what was it? I don't want to say penalty, but last season, right after last season with the Cavender twins or something like
Right.
that with
That
the
had
NIL.
nothing to do with the tournament selection.
But no,
This
but they
year.
had
That was
said that
last year.
right, but they said they was gonna have sanctions on them for this year. So basically, they kind of knew that they were gonna play a season without going to any postseason after last year. Yeah,
I
that was
think they
messed
could
up.
have. I think the sanctions. She had to serve a suspension. I think there was some kind of like a monetary fine, but I don't. That's not what kept them out of the tournament. What kept them out of the tournament was the selection committee having their heads up there. You know what? That's what kept them out of the tournament. So I didn't fill out a bracket. I did though, Vlad. I did go 3-0 on my March Madness individual game bets. Do you think I did better or worse than Shohei Ohtani's interpreter? That's a crazy
I think
story.
you did better. You did better than Shohei. Yeah,
Right, because he's in millions of dollars in debt. I went 3-0 on my $8 bets, so I'm cleaning up. He probably lost like
listen,
6
man.
million yesterday.
I feel bad for Shohei's interpreter because he's taking the downfall for his boy.
For sure.
Everything's very secretive with Shohei. Nobody knew he got married. Nobody knew he got married. And then all of a sudden, it was like right when they were going to South Korea, there was a picture of his wife. I guess she went with them. She traveled. So it was like the first time everybody saw his wife. And then now, now all of a sudden this guy has an interpreter who has a bad gambling problem. He's a terrible gambler. So if you're a terrible gambler, why continue gambling?
It's.
If your boy is Shohei and you ask Shohei for money, wouldn't you say, Donno? If I came to you, I was like, yo, Donno, man, I'm bad. I'm down bad. I've been gambling. I'm owe $5 million. And you like, okay, Vlad, I got you this time.
I'll spot you
stop.
the $5 million.
You need to stop, right? What you gonna tell me? Like, you need to stop?
Yeah.
Like, if you get in trouble again, we're done. You're not working for me. You're fired. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean,
Shohei's
like you said, like
gambling.
At this time, there's no actual proof that Shohei's gambling, but it's just they have to look into it. Like, you have to consider the possibility, because when you're talking about your interpreter who is, conveniently down millions of dollars, and there's bank transfers with Shohei's name on it. So it's like either, and I know that the side of the story from Shohei is, this guy was stealing from me, that this was theft, and we want to investigate this theft. It's not impossible that that's what happened, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely to say the least. So, like, if they do find any wrongdoing on Ohtani's part, Vlad, what kind of energy would Major League Baseball pursue this with? Would they try to say, hey, maybe we don't want to find out if he was involved in it, we're just going to hope and assume he wasn't?
There's
or
no
are they,
way.
because he's so important to the game? Or do they, because I mean, look what they did to Pete Rose. Do they come at it from the Pete Rose energy?
They can't. Dude, look what they did. They started off the season in South Korea, right?
Yeah,
They started in South Korea with the Dodgers versus the Padres. Why was that?
Because they had the biggest Asian
Shohei,
star in the world.
Think about it. If this was Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Angels, whatever the name is, the LA Angels, right? Whatever. I mean, they've had so many names. If he was still on the Angels, it would be a story, but it wouldn't be as big as it is now, because he's on the other side. He's wearing Dodger blue. So because he's wearing Dodger blue, he signed that $700 million contract. He's baseball's biggest star. Yeah, they're coming after him.
Yeah,
they're coming after him because he plays in the biggest market out west, and he plays for the Dodgers, and he's a degenerate gambler.
Yeah, I remember what Chris Carter. You remember when Chris Carter got in trouble at the NFL?
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. You need a fall guy. Everybody, listen, it's sad. It's sad to say,
it's true.
You need a
it's
fall
true
guy
though. You need to have a fall guy.
Yeah,
because
and he's doing a great job.
The way that I look at it is, nobody's perfect, but people hold professional athletes to higher standards, right? I mean, listen, a lot of human beings out there womanize, gamble. I know like marijuana is pretty accepted nowadays, like around, but even 5-10 years ago, like if you got caught with some weed in the car, remember it happened to Udonis Haslam, but he had the fall guy. He had his buddy took the fall for it.
We all need a Greg Anderson in our life.
Yeah,
Barry Bonds. Right. He's the one that took the fall for Barry. We all need a Greg Anderson in our life.
1,000%.
You guys gonna take the fall for you.
Yeah. No
And you
doubt.
look out. You have to look out for them and their family while they do the time for you or whatever
Yeah.
consequence they got to, do. But you got to take care of them. But yeah, you need a fall guy.
I had been of the mind throughout the week that me personally, I can only speak for me, and apparently I am only speaking for me. I'd love to see. It's probably not going to happen now, but I'd love to see the Florida Panthers win the President's Trophy, finish with the best record, and then Vlad. For those who were listening on the radio, Vlad is shaking his head. He's like, "No, don't want any part of that." I was listening to Dan Day and Danny Garcia talk about it yesterday. Nobody wants that President's Trophy because the team that wins the President's Trophy never wins the Stanley Cup. I don't know the last time it happened. So people, apparently South Florida hockey fans, want to avoid that on purpose. Let Boston have it. Let Vancouver have it. Let somebody else have it. Maybe the Panthers listen to you guys because, the way they've been dropping games over the past week, looks like they don't want any part of that President's Trophy either.
They've had a tough stretch. They're playing good teams. Certain teams who are trying to move up in the standings for the playoffs, and just overall really good teams who've already almost clinched a playoff spot. It's not the type of streak you want to go in heading to the postseason, but I don't want the President's Cup.
I'd still rather
I don't think you want the President's Cup. Let Boston have it. Let Winnipeg have it. Let one of those teams have it. You don't want it. It's a curse. They won it not too long ago, and look what happened to them. They got eliminated in the second round. No.
I actually, I think this comes from the fact that I'm a big European soccer fan. Like, we know how the leagues are structured, like the domestic leagues in Europe. The ultimate prize is having the best regular season record, and then that gives you then the Champions League, which is teams from all over Europe, is a tournament. It's more like an American playoff model. But it's I think there should be some value in, and nobody cares. Nobody cares who has the best regular season record if you don't win a championship, right? Because then you get into the playoffs. I think there should be some value in going through an 82 game grind, especially in that sport.
It's no longer. But
here's the way I look at it, Vlad. In hockey, especially, in the NBA, seeding does matter in the NBA. Eight seeds rarely. I know we had an exception last year, but rarely do 8 seeds upset 1 seeds. It just doesn't happen a lot in that sport. The higher seeding, the farther you usually go. In hockey, when you get into the postseason, it's a complete crapshoot. 8 seeds are knocking off ones left and right, cats and dogs living together. It's a complete chaos and hysteria in that sport. So it's what's even the point of the regular? You just have to be good enough to be one of the best 8 teams in your conference. I feel like there should be some reward. There should be some reward for being the regular season team.
They stopped doing that. You know why, Donno? Why? Because there were teams that were winning divisions with terrible records that were less than other teams who made the postseason who had bet, but they have the home court or they have the home ice. That's why they don't want. That's why these divisions don't matter anymore. Winning the division doesn't matter. It's all about records.
I mean, it would have been nice if the Dolphins won the division in the NFL last year.
Football is the only sport where winning your division absolutely still matters.
Yeah.
Still matters. Even if a team goes 8-9, like the Buccaneers a couple of years ago, winning your division matters. So that sport, but in basketball, hockey, the Heat won the division last year.
Yeah. Well, dude, if you look at when you're at Kaseya Center, I know everybody always, they notice the the Marino and the Michael Jordan jersey, but when you see all the banners hanging in the rafters, dude, they have more Southeast Division banners than you can count. But fans don't really care, but the Heat have won that Southeast Division 100 times, right? And then you got
it doesn't matter anymore winning your division. You won your division, cool. Yes, winning your division back in the days, it mattered. Baseball, winning your division matters.
Yes, it does.
Football matters, but hockey, it's about who has the best records. And to the point that I made, that I still hate the play-in. Even though it's exciting, I still hate the play-in because play-in makes the regular season not matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Because look what the Lakers said. Look what Anthony Davis said, man, we just want to get in the tournament. So whether we're in the play-in and we have to play one game to get in, we just want to get in. That's it. You just want to, literally all you got to be is one of the top 10 teams in each conference. You're going to have a chance to play an 83rd game.
Exactly. We get out this message in the Twitch from, or I think it was a YouTube message from Luis who says, "Is this the Tobin and Leroy show?" Well, yeah, but when neither Tobin nor Leroy are here because they're lazy and they're taking all out. Actually, Leroy not as lazy, but actually, you know what? Tobin's not lazy. He's got all those gimmicks.
It's
And
like
all
a before and after picture of Tobin and Leroy. With a before.
We're the before, yeah, exactly.
With a
So, not only did the Miami, I don't want to bring up terrible memories, all right, but we all remember that awful loss in the bitter cold in Kansas City. The football game was not the only thing the Miami Dolphins lost that cold winter day in KC. Tobin and Leroy show continues here. Donno and Vlad with you. Marcos is going to show his face at some point. We got Jay Fig in the house, AM 560 Sports, WQAM. Well, welcome to paradise. Alex Donno and Vlad, the Inhaler, with you. In for Tobin and Leroy. Marcos is going to be around eventually. Same thing with Jay Fig. So, it was a painful day to relive when Miami got crushed in that playoff game in Kansas City back in January. But so not only did the Dolphins lose the game, apparently, like some of the fans because it was so bitter cold, like fans were
You
losing
didn't know about
limbs.
the amputations?
Not only that, like this goes deeper than amputations. Like not only were there this goes deeper than amputations. Okay, the Dolphins also had property stolen from them at that game. I was reading this on Pro Football Talk this morning.
Wait, people went into the locker room and stole Dolphin personal items.
Not quite that. So again, not only did they lose the game, people lost limbs because of that game.
Yes.
Michael David Smith at Pro Football Talk writes, while the Dolphins were losing a playoff game to the Chiefs, they were also losing some of their property to a thief. A 30-year-old Kansas City man named John M. Brown stole media equipment, football pads, gloves, shoes, and game film that was all valued together at $46,376 from a Dolphins team truck, according to prosecutors. Dolphins staffers noticed that the items were gone shortly after the Dolphins-Chiefs game ended and alerted police. Officers who looked at security camera footage identified a pickup truck that they believed the thief had been driving and tracked it down, seeing some of the missing items in the pickup's bed. That's a smoking gun, according to Fox 4 in Kansas City. 4 days later, police executed a search warrant on Brown's home where he appeared to have tried to burn some of the evidence. Someone said. This is Kansas City Police Detective Craig Leach said in an affidavit. I observed a Miami Dolphins logo and a ruminant of what appeared to be the word video that had partially been burned, and additionally matching cold weather gear in the ashes that had not burned, he said. So, yeah, this is it kind of
What's going on in Kansas City, Donald? I need to answer me this question.
I've never been there. I don't know. They're known for their barbecue.
But
this guy probably put that stuff in the barbecue.
Crime always happens when a game is going on. There's a famous fan who's known to rob banks the day that the Chiefs are playing.
Well, do you know why?
Banks.
It's because they're too into football there.
That's what I don't know, but
I know people criticize South Floridians because we don't always fill up our stadiums all the time, but the banks are still open. You still have security working at the banks. You're right, Vlad. Great places to not that I would ever promote this sort of behavior, but places where like crimes can easily be committed during an NFL Sunday. Green Bay's got to be very high on that list. Buffalo has got to be very high on that list because there's nothing else going on there. And apparently Kansas City, you can get away with a lot of stuff when games are happening.
Yeah, dude. Kansas City, I don't know. I don't like that city now.
You ever been there?
Have I been to KC? No, I haven't been to KC. I'm not. It's not one of my destinations trying to go see.
What's on your?
There's always crime.
Like where for
There's
me?
Always crime. I've been a lot of places, bro.
I know you have. You traveling with all games and stuff.
I don't know. It's probably It's probably got to be. Is there a place in this country that you want to see that you haven't seen?
I've never been to Chicago. I want to go there.
Chi-Town's great.
I've never been.
Chi-Town's great.
I want to go there.
Chi-Town's great.
I've been most other places where you'd want to go. I've even been to places you don't want to go, like Cleveland. I've been in some podunk towns, man. It's like, well, what about in other countries?
I'll tell you one place I never want to go to. There's two cities I never want to go to.
Never. Okay.
Blacksburg, Virginia, and Morgantown, West Virginia.
I've never been to Morgantown. I've been to Blacksburg. The thing is, but the time that I went to Blacksburg, I went there for a student radio broadcast, but it was snowing so much I didn't leave my hotel, except for when we went to the game, and it wasn't even a football game, it was a basketball game. So I saw the basketball arena there, and I saw my comfort in the inside of that. I never went anywhere in Blacksburg.
Man, went to Blacksburg for Canes Virginia Tech game, and it was a night game. And let me tell you, that drive in the bus, I probably heard some of the most vile things I've ever heard, ever.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty. It felt like Deliverance. I felt like I was in the. I
Oh,
felt like
no.
Deliverance. Yeah. They were drinking moonshine. You could tell way early in the morning. They were lit. Yeah, Blackbird.
Dude,
Not a great place.
when I was in college, I was on a road trip with two buddies, and we were actually driving all the way. I don't know why we didn't take an airplane. We just thought the road trip would be fun. We were driving from Miami to Canton that was when Dan Marino was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But we drove there, which was terrible. We had no idea how long. It was like well over 20 hours, like 24 hours of drive. It was awful. But at one point we stopped for dinner at this like random town. I don't know if it was off I-75 or what, in the middle of nowhere in Virginia. Because like I had been to like the DC area of Virginia before. Like, oh, Virginia, that's a pretty civilized place. We were out in the backwoods at a town. It was called either Hillsville or Hillville, Virginia. It was just some stop off of the highway. And we went to, I guess the nicest restaurant in town was a Hardee's. So we go into the Hardee's, and this is like we're like 20, 21 years old. We're obnoxious city boys, me and my two buddies. So we're being rowdy and stuff. And these people in the Hillsville Hardee's who were out for like a nice dinner, that's their prime 112 there in the middle of nowhere. They were looking at me and my friends like, who are you, and like what are you doing in our beautiful, peaceful town? Like I remember the look.
Oh yeah, you don't
we were
belong.
getting.
You're not from around here.
Yeah. Like it was one of the most awkward situations. Now on the way back, we stopped for chicken wings at a hole in the wall in South Carolina, and that place was freaking legit, man. That was way, but we avoided the Virginia backwoods like the plague on the way back, but we stopped at a wing joint in South Carolina. I will never forget those barbecue wings, man. That was so good. I don't know what the place was called. This was like, I don't know how many years ago that was, like 17, 18 years ago. I want to go back there so bad.
Nice. Well, yeah. Kansas City, not a place I'm going to go. And now that I didn't understand why fans would want to go in that weather. Come on, man.
It wasn't safe to hold a foot. Like I feel like they have postponed games for weather that was not
I guess
NFL. It wasn't snowing enough, I guess, because like they've obviously postponed games for too much snow and blizzards and stuff. Like it wasn't a blizzard, but it was too cold to play a football game.
I'm not trying to listen. I can say this because I'm not going to be playing that game. I'll be in the comfort and warmth of my home.
Right.
But there should be a limit where the NFL, come on, Goodell, like these guys' safety and health is very important. Like you're going to, right, you push a game for snow. Well, I'm worried about the fans' traffic, but you're not worried that they're sitting on freaking in outdoor in -8-degree weather with a wind chill factor that makes it like -20. Come on, I would sue the league. I would really sue the league.
Yeah.
If I was fans, I would sue the league. Like I lost a limb. You're gonna lose some paper.
Why not? I mean, you got Florida State and Clemson suing the ACC. Why not sue the NFL? Apparently, there's a hearing going on actually now. I was trying to follow some live updates on the ACC versus Florida State, and it's so I was listening. I was driving up to, and we could talk about it later in the show, what's been happening at Miami Hurricanes football spring practice. But as I'm driving up yesterday to cover spring practice, I'm listening to Joe Rose, who had Dan Radakovich, Miami's athletic director, on. And I know a lot of folks were disappointed with what he had to say about, Miami and their place in the ACC, because we know the ACC for a couple of different things. First of all, I admit the fact that Miami's never won the ACC puts a bad taste in all of our mouths. The officiating is also terrible. And now the ACC is missing out on so much TV revenue compared to the Big Ten and the SEC. Like they're kicking our butts when it comes to earnings and competitiveness of the conference and all that. So a lot of Miami fans, they want no part of the ACC, and they see Florida State is suing to try to break out of the grant of rights. Clemson now suing to try to break out of the grant of rights. And a lot of Miami fans are like, why can't we do it? So I'm listening to Dan Radakovich, the Miami AD, on with Joe yesterday. And he gave zero indication whatsoever that Miami has any interest in suing the ACC or trying to get out. Now, whether you take that at face value or you say that's just what he has to say for right now, that's totally up to you. But another thing that Radakovich said that was interesting, Vlad, was he, most of the teams in the conference have had their lawyers take a long, hard look at that grant of rights agreement, which has them supposedly locked in to this bad TV deal till 2036. So most schools have had their lawyers look at it. And Radakovich said very matter-of-factly, like, he doesn't see how Florida State and Clemson can get out, that they're stuck with everybody, whether they like it or not. And one of the pieces of precedent, and I know that basically Florida State is trying to find some kind of a loophole, and they're trying to set new precedent in how they're trying to get out, because the ACC's grant of rights basically is a carbon copy of the Big 12 grant of rights. And yes, Texas and Oklahoma, they did just leave the Big 12, but they didn't break the grant of rights, Vlad. They announced 4 years ago that they were going to leave the Big 12, but they couldn't get out. They ended up buying out 1 year early because the buyout was less punitive, just 1 year, but they had to sit it in that conference for another 3 years before they could afford to buy their way out. So if they couldn't find a way out of basically the same type of agreement, is Florida State and Clemson going to find a way out? I'm looking at it because one thing I will say, Vlad, even though Miami seems to be giving all indications right now that they're perfectly happy in the ACC, they don't want to get out. If Florida State and Clemson can find a way out, all bets are off. Because if that precedent yeah.
Come on. This is a follow. Everybody follows. So if one is able to do it, then everybody else is going to follow them and try to do it. So that's all they're waiting for. And the fact that Clemson now joined Florida State, you're talking about the two big programs in the ACC football-wise. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this resolves. All right, we got Miami Heat in action tonight.
Oh, yeah, this is a revenge game.
It is. I mean, we remember. Can you play the what would we call that? A melee? Can you play that when we come back, Vlad, to take a little walk down memory lane? So Heat Pelicans revenge game. I know I'm going to be on one side. Dan Day is going to be on the other side, rooting for those Pelicans. You want to keep it locked right here. Tobin and Leroy show. Donno and Vlad filling in on AM 560 Sports WQAM.
Drive and the runner doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Zion. He misses it point blank. Few of those tonight for him as he was trying to clean up the Robinson Earl dynamic. And Love pulled. Now. Here we go. Jimmy and Robert and Marshall going at it. But Jimmy is not going to come off. And now no fists got thrown, so I don't think anybody's getting.
Jimmy's not going to come off. Hey, yo.
Look at this one. We'll see who the instigator was. But, I mean, Jimmy went absolutely to the red side of things.
Was that a period? Jimmy went to the red side of things?
Ryan popped up all quick and wanted to bounce toward things. And here comes, now we got Alvarado and Thomas Bryant throwing hands. Now that's going to be something different. Well, now we got somebody throwing stuff in the stands. Somebody get this clown right here. Number 3 in the white. Police not even moving to get this guy.
Snitch.
Throwing twice. He's got to go. We got a fan throwing stuff out on the floor, and we know that only makes it worse. Now we got other clowns doing the same thing.
Clowns, Donno.
They need to get this clown right here in the middle section in white, who threw 2 pieces of debris onto the floor.
Did Jax text the number that's like report an unruly fan? He's like,
Jax is a snitch.
Yeah.
Jax is a snitch. No,
I understand where he's coming from because that's what made the malice at the Palace get so escalated was people throwing stuff on the court. That's when it was Ron Artest started running into the crowd and it turned. So I think Jax was having flashbacks to that. He's like, not again, not on my watch, man. Report an unruly fan. And it was, I remember watching that video so many times. What got Jimmy so hot was that like Marshall choked him. Like he put his hands around Jimmy's throat. And that's when he turned into Red Jimmy. Like he completely lost his mind at that point. And that's what escalated things because you put your hands around a grown man's throat and things are going to go. I actually thought, Marcos, that Jimmy showed restraint back then. This was the last time the Heat and Pelicans played. I thought Jimmy showed restraint by not throwing punches, right? I didn't think he should have been suspended for his role in that.
Yeah, the NBA is full of hold me backs, as I call it. A bunch of hold me back kind of people in regards to no one's really ever going to do anything serious.
Right.
But you still don't even want it to get anywhere close to malice at the Palace. So I give him credit for showing restraint. But, I mean, all for naught. A few seconds later, Grand Theft Alvarado pulls off a snuff of Thomas Bryant real quick and goes running.
That's right.
So I'm interested to see how because Thomas Bryant is getting more playing time. So before he was just like something in the statue in the background. So there was no chance of him even getting any sort of retaliation on the court. Now he's been playing more minutes. So I'm excited to see if maybe this sparks him to having a career game tonight from Thomas Bryant. You heard it here first.
I hope so. But do you think that based on what happened, I think it was late February, the last time they played, it was less than a month ago.
Yeah.
Is it bound to get heated again, you think? Because I know in 2 different worlds, but if this were hockey, right? And now in hockey, guys throw punches. It's like, oh, hey, you want to spend about 5 minutes there in the penalty box and we'll cool off. Everything's going to be good after that. Yeah. And then everything's good. You spend 5 minutes in the penalty box, roughing major. It's all, forgotten. But the next time you play, there's usually some extra chippiness and physicality. You remember that brawl last time?
Jimmy was asked that the other night at the post game after the victory over Cleveland. This is what he said.
I mean, there is a freaking memory. I got fined a lot of money. That's my memory. I don't give a damn about tensions flaring and all of that, man. I got kids. I got diapers, baby food. I'm talking about Jax. Like, that's crazy.
Like it was 20 years ago.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's all I'm worried about. Trying to get my bread back.
Yo, Jax with the line. Yes, I do. Like it was 20 years ago. Because it was probably 20 years ago when Jax had to worry about diapers. Jax has no clue. And by the way, what kind of diapers are you buying? Louis Vuitton diapers?
That's what I'm saying, Jimmy. Are you struggling with diapers?
What's going on here?
Yeah, they do like you can do like I don't know what you do for the baby tadpole, Marcos, but you could do like a diaper membership where they'll they'll ship them. Yeah, they'll ship them monthly. They show up at your door. Yeah, you can do them. There's services dedicated to it. You could do it through Amazon Prime. You can deliver those diapers right to your door.
Yeah, no, my son's tough. He's wearing boxers already. Yeah. He's tough. Poops his pants, but hey, he's tough.
Right. There's a lot of diaper rash going on down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And he mentioned something about his fine. His fine probably was more significant than any of the other players because any of the other players don't have as big contracts. So he probably did pay a pretty penny. But
No.
he's got
You
the
don't
money,
get fined.
dude.
You get fined a specific amount. You don't get.
So it's not a
fined
percentage; it's an
Oh, I
amount.
thought it was
percentage.
games. But what
No,
about
no.
he only missed one
The game check. Well, you know what? I mean,
no. He misses a game check,
Yeah.
but he's not. Yeah, that's it. You just
Right.
you missed the game check.
I mean, he doesn't mind missing a game because he misses games all the time. Missing
All
the
the
game
time.
check, that might
Oh,
be a different story.
that's true though.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
We get a message from D Sizzle on Twitch who says, Jimmy is making 50 mil. What is he paying? $1,000 for a box of diapers?
It's crazy. Now I'm nervous. Is there something I don't know? Maybe he's ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you don't realize you're not paying for the Louis Vuitton diapers. You're buying Huggies when you should be buying the Louis Vuitton.
Fruit of the loom, Donno. Fruit of the loom.
Fruit of the loom. And any of you guys going to Ultra? That's happening this weekend.
No, we've been strictly forbidden to go from JFig. She actually says that it's devil music and she doesn't want us to be consumed by it.
I want to see people like hugging trees and stuff. That
they're
always
gonna be hugging trees. They're gonna be on MDMA, all that type of stuff. Yeah, they'll be hugging trees.
Well, no,
They'll
that's
be
why
hugging the
I
land.
want to go. Like, I could barely care. I do enjoy some of. I don't know anything about like house music, but I do enjoy some of it. But I want to see the college students like just tripping and just going like that's. I don't want to partake myself because I'm a grown man with a family, but I want to see those people out there, man.
You guys give Ultra a bad rap. You do the same thing. I hear this all the time at the comedy club from people who come from different states or different cities. They come here, and the one thing anyone says about Ultra is those damn tree huggers. Because that one time that girl decided, hey, this tree is handsome. Sometimes trees are handsome. I forgive her.
I feel like if the tree has a chance, I have a chance.
True. That tree was a good looking tree, Donno. But it's okay. I'll give you a shot too.
Bigger trunk than me, but.
Now the problem that I get is like whenever someone mentions Miami, they're like, isn't this where that guy ate that other guy's face? And I'm like, it only happened once, dude.
Listen, all right. When you're taking ecstasy or MDMA, you're gonna hug trees. If you're taking bath salt, you're gonna be trying to eat people. It's chemical imbalance. It's a chemical imbalance. You gotta know. Well, not to take any of those stuff, but if you are, at least take one that's not going to make you want to, eat people's face off. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Sometimes you get hungry too. Just a little nibble on the face never hurt anyone.
I don't want a facial cheek.
Just a little bit. Just a little.
No.
Medium rare right here.
No.
But it's like everything going on this weekend. The tennis tournament is going on at Hard Rock.
You got
the Heat are playing at home tonight during Ultra. It's just gonna be. I'm gonna leave town tonight.
Heat 4-game homestand starts tonight.
Sunday they'll be there too.
You have a big concert at in Sunrise for 2 nights.
What's the concert?
Drake and Lil Wayne.
Okay.
You got Ultra this weekend. Got Spring Breakers.
Yeah,
man.
It's a lot going on,
busy.
baby.
Marcos, are you gonna have some kind of spring break festivities for us today? Because I told y'all I was listening Monday and I heard Vlad just mopping the floor with everybody on the MTV spring break trivia. He got every question right. I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't have beaten Vlad, but I could have gotten a couple of those.
Yeah, your timeline would have been better than Leroy's for sure.
He wants another contest, man. He wants another game show.
The boy has to have games if I'm going to be out here at all. I have a short attention span. I'm a child, of course. Yeah. So, of course, we will have some trivia today. We've already done. Yeah, right. It's a rough world. You see his little Dolphins onesie over here hanging in the rafters already.
Oh, look at that.
I did see that as soon as you came on. I love the one.
Yeah.
Did you autograph it?
No, of course not. A real quarterback did. Justin Fields. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so look, we did MTV spring break trivia. We did a bracket. I was listening to the show earlier. You mentioned you haven't done any brackets, which is quite un-American of you, but I tell you what, I haven't done a bracket actually ever.
And you know what? Okay, so a clean sweep on this show. I didn't fill out a bracket. I am betting on individual games on the Hard Rock app, but I didn't fill out a bracket. Vlad didn't fill one out. Marcos didn't fill one out. JFig didn't fill one out. I even got a text from Solana, which I'm kind of surprised that he also told me No bracket for me either. He says, I'm just grifting money to Hard Rock, is what he says. I'm winning money. So far,
Nice.
I've won $16.
I'm taking every underdog. Every underdog.
$16. You go, boy.
$16.
Hey, that's honestly
Heavy
more than
hitter.
I've won off the Hard Rock app.
Heavy hitter.
We did do a bracket though. We did Goat of Goats.
I heard all about that one.
So the winner, LeBron James over Serena Williams. Tight contest indeed.
Wow. And Muhammad Ali, did he even make the semifinals or like what?
Yeah, he did against
Pele.
LeBron
Did
James.
Pele make the quarterfinals? Like,
no, they gave it to Ronaldo and Messi instead of
no.
Pele. I know. It was rough. It's rough. Hey man, I don't make the rules except for the
When you
fact
say
that I
day,
did.
when you say day, who's
Yeah.
day? Because the day would be you.
Oh, people, dude. People.
Day would be
people.
Marcos. So
That's
it'd be
you.
you.
I don't make the rules, bro. I just make the rules. We also did a Miami Ultra Music Festival trivia.
Oh,
That was interesting. Donno, just to give you a preview of what that went like, how many people more or less do you think were at the first Ultra? And just to give you a point of reference, last year's Ultra had over 160,000 people. How much were at the first one that Vlad was at attendance in 1999?
I'm gonna go 1,000.
Oh, solid. Closer than, I think Leroy said like 260,000, which I was like,
What?
really?
How did you get that many now?
I'm like, wow, you think there was more people then? But no, the correct answer ended up being around roughly 10,000 people.
Oh, okay. So I was low then. And Vlad was one of those 10,000.
Vlad
What
was-
what was it in? Like, was it in like the Heat's arena, like only lower
It was at
bowl?
Bayfront.
It was at Bayfront. Yeah.
It was only 8 DJs, 2 stages. So it was a
It is
smaller,
not. It
smaller
wasn't
stage.
what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the heyday is not. The heyday was probably like 2002.
Really? That long ago?
Yeah.
Did they put like restrictions on it? Like, because I know that like one of the big things I see happening down here is, everybody loves to come to South Florida during spring break, but the very wealthy people who live in South Florida do not like the tourists, flooding.
Oh,
their
yeah,
They don't like a
expensive
certain. They don't like a certain kind.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, it's true. You're not wrong.
They call it Urban Beach Week, and that's when usually when I worked in South Beach, it would be a ghost town, bro. Like from a majority of the residents, that's when they would leave.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, look, they're doing their best to cancel spring break in Miami. You've heard of all the new rules that they have and the curfews that they're attempting to
And Fort
enforce.
Lauderdale's already, like, Fort Lauderdale years ago canceled spring break, and then if Miami does the same thing, it's like what towns do you think would be open to being the hub? Like, it's like Daytona Beach, is that a thing? Do we have to go to another country? Like, do we have to go to Mexico? I say we as if I'm doing any of this stuff anymore. I'm not, but I mean, just in general, like, where do you go for spring break then? You can't go to Miami Beach. Where do you go?
Now, we mentioned actually during the Ultra Trivia that during the inaugural during the MTV Spring Break Trivia, during the inaugural MTV Spring Break era, that they attempted to do it on Fort Lauderdale Beach, and Fort Lauderdale Beach said no. So they went over to Daytona Beach, who was happily welcoming everyone, and they quickly realized that was a mistake. So I feel like, if it's not MTV, if it's not Ultra, if it's not just your typical spring break, I feel like every beach has been exhausted. We know Panama City, we know Daytona, we know Fort Lauderdale, obviously Miami. People are going to be in Naples, dude. Vacation in Naples. That's what we're doing.
Naples will not stand for that. Like,
No, of course not.
If you think the residents of Miami at Fort Lauderdale do not like Naples, you're talking like 75 and up with $5 million house. They will not. It will not allow spring break.
Spring break's canceled, bro. There's no home for it.
No, I think we're gonna have to go to other. Like, I feel like if we start like doing like, where can we go? Dubai or something? Like, there's
Too far.
Yeah, I mean,
Bahamas.
Yeah, I do. I did spring break at the Bahamas one time, and it was actually not a very good time because we stayed at like the cheap hotel, and it was a sausage fest. Like, it was.
I love that.
Yeah,
Great.
it was actually. I'd wish I'd stayed home. It was not a good time when I went to the Bahamas for spring break.
I can imagine so many people are like, "Yeah, let's go to the Bahamas. There's gonna be chicks, dude." Then
Yeah.
Alex Donno walks
They were
out.
all they were the hotel across the street. there
Yeah.
were a bunch of girls there, but it's like we couldn't use their private beach because we
Oh,
weren't
yep.
because they had like a private beach just for that hotel. So we'd see these girls like walking around like the street and like, oh, where you stay? Oh, they were staying at the Sheraton. Well, no, I'm staying at like the at whatever the name of the hotel was, like a motel with a crappy pool. It was
He's
awful.
at the La Quinta.
Pretty much, man. It was not a good time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so we'll definitely do some trivia today. I'm thinking, since we've exhausted all the other topics for spring break, we may have to do some early Easter trivia.
okay.
But I don't
Okay.
want you, Donno. I know when I mention some of these things, you go deep into the actual statistics and facts. This is silly sauce, baby. So, we're going to do our best to make sure that it's a good time. I may or may not get some facts wrong. It's Marco's trivia. What do you expect?
Well, we got an 11 o'clock hour coming up, and I do want to talk the latest on Odell Beckham Jr. Will he or won't be a Miami Dolphin? We're going to have some headlines. Marcos, did you come prepared with headlines? Because I did headlines in the opening segment. It was a
Yes.
train wreck. I need you.
Absolutely. I got some headlines. I did hear your headlines. You talked about the most important thing, just Katie Meyer and
Yeah.
her departure from UM. But I got some other things to hit too. I got some headlines for you, Donno.
We'll get it coming up next, 11 o'clock hour, Tobin and Leroy show.
It's time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tonga Valoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Oh, you give it to you. You'll do it better, Marcos. Give it to me.
Noodle arm on the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of Tua, I was just watching this video that Barry Jackson reposted on Twitter of top Fox Sports college football analyst Joel Klatt. You know, college. He's talking about draft prospects, and he was saying something about how he was.
You saw that? Did you see that?
About how the Dolphins need
at 22.
At 22, how he thinks they need to get a guy who's a better fit for Mike McDaniel's system. Hold on, Tua fitting in McDaniel's system. That's not a problem, right? I don't know. I don't know if Joel Klatt. I've had my critiques of Tua over the years, but that ain't it. Klatt.
Joe Klatt thinks the Miami Dolphins at 22 should select a bigger version of Tua.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix out of
You
Washington.
think he's still there at 22? It's a crapshoot because there's a lot of good quarterbacks
Donno,
in the draft.
I will say this on paper, Donno, Marcus, and Marcos. I think a lot of teams have done a lot to where you're not going into the draft knowing what they need. They can do anything. There's a lot of teams that can do that right now.
Full disclosure: if Michael Penix was still on the board at number 22, I would take a
know how you don't.
look.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't look at that,
That's
bro.
done.
I really don't. I don't know how you don't look at that if he's available.
But the thing is, Chris Greer's not going to do that. I'm telling you, okay, I love college football, and Michael Penix, to me, he was probably my favorite quarterback in the country to watch this past year. I love Penix, and I would love to see him in a Dolphin uniform, but I cannot speak for Chris Greer. I think from Chris Greer's perspective, whether you like it or not, he loves Tua. They've already invested a ton of time and invested, a top 5 draft pick into it in the past. I think they want to keep going with the devil they know. I don't think I'm not expecting them to do anything, but he at this moment, Tua does not have a new contract, so there's that.
I can say this. If you draft a new quarterback and the situation's still the same with your current quarterback and you don't think you can take that next step with them, you don't have to feel like you're going to be in a financial hell for the next 4 years of paying somebody, $250,000.
Right.
$250 million. So you could do that. Because right now, that's why, because you went for it. You went all in the last 2 seasons, especially last season. That's why you were in the financial stress that you were in. And a couple of key contributors on your team had to leave because through free agency. You could do a restart, but do you want to do the restart? I
don't want to hear that word, bro. I've been hearing that a lot this offseason. Restart, reset. And I'm like, how the hell do we go to the greatest show on surf to restart and reset in one season?
Because when you don't
win a playoff game.
Yeah, when you don't accomplish your goal.
No, I mean, I completely get it. As much as I've been accused of being rats off a ship on Tua, although I would like some more mobility and a little bit more confidence in the pocket. But I'm willing to give him this one last year. I'm willing to give Mike McDaniel and him this one last year to determine whether or not. But my problem that I'm really having is I know they're going to pay him this weekend. I know the love affair Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel have with Tua.
You said this weekend?
I mean,
this week. Chris Greer, you say that Chris Greer's going to be at Ultra and then he's going to be like,
he's going to make some bad decisions.
I'm going to pay Tua right now. Huh?
Yeah,
What you saying?
this weekend Chris Greer's he's gonna be popping a Molly and sweating and giving money.
Sweating with glow sticks. It's like with aqua and orange glow sticks. It's gonna be like it's time to pay to him.
This
Come on
offseason, I think he's gonna pay him. And I just don't think he needs to. There still is one more year left on that contract.
Let him play out the deal. I agree.
Just let him play out the deal because there's a possibility Tua could come back a better quarterback as he has been improving for sure.
Well, I guess the only disadvantage to letting him play out the deal is if you give him a long-term extension now, you can make it more cap friendly for the future. Like that's the big advantage is manipulating it from a salary cap standpoint.
Yeah, and Christian Wilkins had a similar situation, and we ended up losing out on him. He bet on himself. He had a great season, and we lost out on him. I'm from an organizational standpoint, understanding that there are opportunities that you could present yourself by signing him early, but I don't want to. What if Tua goes out there and he played a full season last year, and I'm happy he does. I don't want him to be injured, but he does still has that injury history over him. What if he goes out there third week is injured? Or what if he goes out there and he's still there's plays where Tua will look like the best quarterback in the league, and there's plays where I'm like, what the hell were you even thinking with that, Tua? And are we going to be stuck in the same Ryan Tannehill of good but not good enough? There's so many questions that I feel don't equate to him being signed right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's a bunch of financial things that weigh into it. I had even proposed if we can't get Penix, because I really feel like he's definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the class. Man, bring in little Tua, dog. He's a little bit more mobile. We're keeping it in the family, bro. Slightly taller.
Well,
you never know.
Way worse.
Yeah, I want Zoran Dragic instead of
he would. That's what he would be. It would be having Zoran Dragic here. Zoran Tagovailoa is who we would have.
Absolutely, and maybe we'll have a little bit of extra money left over when we release Mike White and sign Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I think Dade South is right. I think he is smaller, not bigger than Tua. I think he's under. I think he's under 6 foot. The brother, because I had to study him because for a hot second, little Tua was potentially trying to transfer to Miami, but then the NCAA they wouldn't let him transfer. Miami got Cam Ward, thank God. But I was studying little Tua. Like, listen, I thought little Tua could have been an okay option at the University of Miami. Miami Dolphins, no bueno, no thank you.
Well, nonetheless, the draft is right around the corner, and there are a couple options definitely that I'm looking at, but nothing looks sexy, if I had to be honest, for the first round.
Can you give me some headlines? What do we got today?
These headlines are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
They know trucks.
We have some basketball action. It is the rematch from the Rumble in the Arena. That's what you want to refer to it as. The last time the Pelicans and the Miami Heat met in late February. This time, things going to be a little bit different for a couple of reasons. Not sure if you guys saw yesterday, Brandon Ingram helped to the locker room after hyperextending his knee. The MRI results came out. Yes. It looked pretty bad, honestly. It looked pretty bad, but some fortunate news for him, although still going to be out for at least 2 weeks. The MRI revealed it was just a left knee bone contusion, which, the Miami Heat know all about these contusions. Jimmy had one in his foot. Bam has one in his back. So not as damning as it seemed yesterday initially, but still not something you want to see if you're a Pelicans fan. Definitely something you'd enjoy if you're a Heat fan.
And so somebody mentioned, by the way, that I probably somebody up in Boca who's mad that we're not talking about FAU basketball, who is in the tournament.
Yes.
But you know what?
Alma mater.
And they played today. I think they played 12:15 p.m. today. And I locked this in yesterday, not just now. I've got FAU -2.5 against Northwestern. FAU the 8 seed, Northwestern the 9. I'm riding with my South Floridians down here. I got FAU -2.5, boys.
First of all,
Nice.
This is the love I have for you guys. I could have been in Brooklyn right now watching my team play.
Who's your team? FAU?
Yeah, who's your team?
Yeah, my alma mater.
Oh, I didn't even know that. No idea.
Yes, the alma mater. It would have been a great weekend. I could have seen they're playing in Brooklyn in my hometown. It would have been great.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
here
wouldn't.
with you guys.
You'd miss
I'm here
us
with you
and
guys.
Drake.
I could have
Jizz.
got back for Drake on Saturday.
Oh, he would have made it back. My boy would have made it back for the Drake concert.
Definitely would have made it back for the Drake concert. I
Solid.
might have missed sports. I might have missed sports day, but
Yeah, that's
definitely would have
all
been back for it. But no, yeah, I can't wait to see my alma mater play, man. They're the only team locally that we got to root for.
Hoot
we
hoot,
wanted to
y'all
make it.
boys.
And they were Final Four participants last season, so hopefully they can have another Cinderella run.
Yeah.
Let's go
Couple-
Owls.
Let's go Owls.
Couple other headlines. Your Florida Panthers yesterday were in action against the Nashville Predators. And
Were they in action? Because they got their ass shut out.
shut out again. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Panthers have had a great season, in talks for the President's Cup during
We don't want
very
that.
recent weeks. We don't want that, which could be why the Panthers have been performing as they have been as of recent, or it could be the new addition of Vladimir.
There's only one Vladimir in this town.
Okay, I'm sorry, Vlad number 2, not
Yeah.
the correct original Vlad, but they've been losing some games as of recently. Donno, I know you follow the Panthers very closely. Should
Yeah.
I be concerned, dude? Should I be worried?
I mean, no, because they, unlike last year, they actually positioned themselves to where they could afford to lose a couple of games. I mean, they're going to end up with home ice for at least a round to start the playoffs. It's kind of like the opposite of what the Miami Heat are going through. It's like now it's time to wake up just to get into the playoffs. Where the Panthers is like, okay, you can afford to rest some bodies. Now, I do want to see them finish the regular season strong because I do believe in momentum heading into the playoffs. So hopefully. I guess it's a 3-game losing streak now. Hopefully this does not continue.
But here's the thing, guys. I don't think you want to win. You're even the Atlantic.
Why not?
All right. So right now, looking at the standings, the Bruins are on top of the Atlantic.
And they're on
Followed
top
by
of the
Florida
NHL as well, right?
and Toronto. Right.
Yeah.
So if you stay where you are, you play Toronto in the first round.
Yep. That would be a fun series and a winnable
If
series.
you win, you could play Tampa or Philadelphia.
I don't like playing Tampa in the playoffs.
I don't want to play Tampa or Philadelphia.
Or
you may
Philly,
play
to be
Detroit
honest.
or Detroit, but you may
Hmm.
have to play teams that have proven this season to give you a hard time.
Okay.
That Philadelphia's beaten them twice this season, and Tampa got revenge for that 9-2 beatdown they took in Tampa. They beat the Panthers at on this past Saturday. So I don't want the President's Cup. Don't get the President's Cup because winning the President's Cup also can give you I think a tougher first round matchup.
It's kind of like with the Heat, where we just kind of want to stay at the 6th seed. I don't want the 5th. I don't want the 4th. I definitely don't want the 7th or 8th. But I feel like 6 is the sweet spot for the Panthers. It seems like 2 or 3 may be the sweet spot.
Intangible, Vlad.
That's funny.
A
No,
couple
that's
other headlines before we go to break here. We're probably going to talk more about the OBJ visits in this hour, but real quick, I'm not sure
really?
if you guys
Because
see
you were
this.
loving you. This is what you wanted all
Yeah.
along. Donald,
Yeah.
he wants Odell Beckham like bad, like 1 year, $10 million.
I talked myself
Oh.
into it. I did. I talked because I looked back at and I remember him making a huge catch against the Dolphins, but I looked back at what he did at Baltimore, and obviously the big problem, he wasn't a $15 million receiver there. That was
Yeah.
the issue, but he was actually their second most productive wide receiver and had a better year than I realized there in Baltimore. So you're talking about third wide receiver here with the Dolphins.
There we go, Dono. There we
Shiny
go.
object as well. You could bring a Kardashian down here. Let's go.
Are you really?
I know. That's
Dude,
what I'm
wait a
talking
minute.
about, Dono. Hey,
Do you
this
want
man
wins
knows
or
football.
TMZ? Do you want wins or TMZ clips?
We can have both,
what are we
baby.
doing here?
Yeah, we can have both.
Jesus.
But before we get to more OBJ talk, did you guys see that Kansas City man has been arrested following what he did at the Miami Dolphins?
We talked about
playoff
that.
Yeah, we
Yep.
talked about. I
Yep.
talked about it
Yeah.
earlier. What you listening?
46,000. I mean, I heard a few things. I heard Katie Meyer. I heard some bracket talk. But $46,000.
I love how he literally tried to burn the evidence. Did you see that?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Give him credit for stealing
Yeah.
that. But these were your headlines.
All right, so we will talk a little bit more about OBJ when we come back. Tobin and Leroy Show, AM 560 Sports, WQAM.
This Go, Sean. It's your birthday.
All right, coming up later in this 11 o'clock hour, Tobin and Leroy, we're going to have Goosies, no Goosies. I do want to make the cases 2 and 4 against Odell Beckham Jr.
Please do, Donno. Please do.
Obviously not what he was early in his career when he was putting up, 1,200 plus yard seasons in New York and Cleveland. Hasn't been that guy. Did get his Super Bowl ring in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, but I still think OBJ can provide you glimpses of spectacular catches every now and then. Doesn't play that same sort of snap count, but with him being able to play on the outside and give Jalen Waddle more opportunities to play in the slot, I think that could add another excellent weapon. And you talk about how productive he was in Baltimore last year. Again, not a huge snap count, but 535 receiving yards, I think 3 touchdowns this past season, was, I think, their second most productive wide receiver on the team. And that was in a run-heavy offense, Marcos. So I look at OBJ, 535 in Baltimore in a run-heavy offense. The Mike McDaniel would just prefer not to run the football, nearly as much if he could be chucking it downfield. So I think OBJ could put up 700 plus as Miami's third receiver. And of course, when you line up as a receiver for the Dolphins, if you're not wearing the number 10, Tyreek Hill is getting so much extra attention, and OBJ could have a chance to make some plays and shine down here. And he also, I know the Dolphins will need to get him at a discount because they can't be signing him for, $15 million like he was making in 1 year in Baltimore. At least he knows it's a non-income tax state, right? You can take a little bit of a haircut, but you make it up in the back end when you come down here. So I think it'd be a good move for the Miami Dolphins if they could make this happen, if they can come to a reasonable agreement.
Yesterday, Donno, I was attacked. I want you to know this. I was brutally attacked for suggesting such an idea. Let me explain something to you that you mentioned, but we have to reiterate because people go crazy if you don't say it. I understand this is not the OBJ from the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the Baltimore Ravens severely overpaid for him. Severely overpaid for him. That's none of my business. I also understand that the third string wide receiver I previously had in Cedric Wilson was commanding a $7 million salary and had worse statistics than Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
I also understand between the amount of injuries he sustains on a weekly basis, the amount of baby mama drama he sustains on a weekly basis, and the amount of off-the-field shenanigans currently surrounding Tyreek Hill. How do I know week 4 he's not going to slap another Marina officer and then all of a sudden Tyreek Hill has a 2-game suspension? How do I know?
I like this. You know why?
I'll tell you.
Because I knew this was going to happen. There's only a certain limit you could take of people's shenanigans or mistakes before it starts becoming bothersome. And I think
Tyreek is getting there, bro.
He's getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
it's crazy that everybody's saying the same thing.
Great wide receiver. Love him. Love Tyreek Hill. I really do. I think he's a great teammate. I think he's an excellent on-the-field player, but you look at his tenure with the Miami Dolphins. It started off with that Marina run-in, and since then, are you married? Are you not married? Your house is on fire. Then we have...
Did you file for divorce by mistake? Like what?
You broke a YouTuber's leg? You broke an OnlyFans model's leg or something like that?
Poor thing, man.
Really, I can't keep track of the things that are going on in regards to Tyreek Hill. And I just don't know when that's going to overflow. We've been given the graces by Roger Goodell and the rest of the NFL and even our own team in regards to there's been no repercussions for any of his actions. They've just been distractions. But, who knows when that's going to bubble over and turn into something else. I don't need a lot from OBJ. I really don't. We just picked up Jonnu Smith. We do have a solid running game. I understand that you want to use that money to fill the void left by Christian Wilkins and a few other players that departed recently. But I just don't see if we can get them at an optimal rate, which I think is $7 million or less, then why not, take a chance? Like you said, Donald, we have a Kardashian at the game, baby.
Well, and listen, I don't actually look at that as a pro. I look at that as a con. But on the other hand, he's with Kim Kardashian. How long is that really going to last? I mean, by the time the season starts, she could be like 3 boyfriends down the road from him. Like, it's how long is that one really going to last? I think to me, the concern with OBJ is the fact that he's had a torn ACL twice in the same knee. I think that to me is a legitimate concern. That didn't seem to affect him too much last season. He missed the entire prior season to last year. He missed a full season before making his comeback last year. So to me, the health and the fact that, age-wise, I guess like he's going to be 32 during the season, which I guess like 32 is not as old as it used to be when talking about receipt. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like if he was a running back, it's like being 50. But 32 for a receiver,
old if
he's
you're
got a couple
banged
more
up.
years in him.
It's old if you're banged up, and you've had, like you said, 2 significant injuries on your knee. Yeah, it's old. I don't know what you guys are expecting from him, but if he's not washed, he's dampened.
Let me ask you this, Vlad, because I was watching, and yes, I have no life. I was watching Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson on Fox Sports 1 yesterday. I wasn't actually watching Fox Sports 1. I watched it on YouTube, but I was watching them talking about OBJ. And Skip wants to see OBJ at the New York Jets so bad. Like he wants to pair up Beckham and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, because then because that's headlines for him to talk about. Like that's the thing. If Odell comes to Miami, it's gonna be talked about because Tua is
talking about
one of the most. Yeah, they love talking about Tua and they love talking about the Coach McDaniel. So yes, it's going to be extra eyes on the Miami Dolphins. But is it the eyes that you want? Like the eyes that you want is the eyes for winning, not because of who you're dating.
Yeah.
Not because of,
But you don't think he can help
drama.
You don't think he could help the team win? I think he can.
If he's willing to put his ego to the side, because that's going to be another thing. That's going to be one that wide receiver room is going to be crazy if you add Odell in there. Like, because everybody's going to feel, and rightfully so, about who they are. Tyreek knows he's the man. He's 2 years. He's been the lead, putting up crazy numbers. Waddle's going to want receptions and yards because he's playing for a contract. Contract year is almost coming soon. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you add Odell. Odell's either going to be he's going to have to understand that right now he's pretty much a hired assassin, a cheap hired assassin. So if he's going to be able to accept the fact that he might be a wide receiver number 3, and maybe 4th in targets because you included Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have the running game.
Yep.
So is he going to be okay with that? Because one thing about Odell, I don't know if he's a brand. He's a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to want in a city like Miami, it's a major city, he's going to want to be able to sell his brand. The same way he was able to sell his brand in Los Angeles, make his brand in New York. Notice the places that he wasn't good was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not selling.
But that's another reason why Miami could be a good fit, right? Because you
right,
can't sell your brand in Cleveland.
But selling your brand is good, but selling your brand and winning, but winning is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Like winning is the most important thing. Like, put it this way: you add Odell, I wouldn't be shocked if Hard Knocks are like, hey, let's do a full summer of training camp with the Miami Dolphins.
Got to go right back to Miami. They would say, yeah,
that'd be
that's
good.
Not what you want. I don't really. So, do you understand what happened to you guys after you were in season Hard Knocks?
Those first 3 weeks were great, though.
And then what happened after that?
You're assuming it happened because of Hard Knocks. I think it happened because our quarterback can't throw when it's below 75 degrees. I think that's the problem. I don't think Hard Knocks was the problem. I think that Tua needs to be in climate-controlled environments. You can't play. You can't win on the road in Buffalo at that time of year, or I guess they weren't on the road, but you can't win on the road in Kansas City that time of year. You got to be in climate-controlled environments. That's why you had to get home field in the playoffs, and you didn't.
Got a point there, Donno. Got a point. One thing also I don't think we've been mentioning is the veteran presence that he brings. If he is willing to,
what veteran? Who's young in the wide receiver
Super Bowl champion?
Waddle's somewhat young still.
Who's young? Man, if y'all don't stop with that,
Super Bowl champion, Vlad.
Yeah, so is Tyreek Hill.
Braxton Berrios is under 40. He's kind of
so
young.
is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marcus.
But Tyreek Hill,
So
too
is
much
Tyreek Hill.
shenanigans. Too much shenanigans.
Yeah,
Too much shenanigans.
Oh, it's in fighting fighting a field goal. What was that? He fought a field goal post. He fought a field goal post
Again, I mentioned
on
this
the
before.
sideline, and then asked the field goal post for forgiveness.
I was gonna say, you don't know what that field goal post said, bro. You don't understand what conversation they had.
And then went on bended knee and asked it for forgiveness.
Okay,
Come
but
on,
that
what
was
we doing
7
here?
years ago, bro.
What
You
we
can't
doing
forgive
here?
him.
He's
What were you
matured.
doing
Clearly.
7 years
What are we
ago?
doing here?
He was
And you telling me he's a
25
vet?
then.
Stop.
25 years old then.
You
bro.
guys should draft in a great wide receiver draft one of these young receivers who can definitely start and contribute immediately.
But
And you
where
have
though?
him for the
Vlad?
next 3 to 4 years.
Where
on
do we
the
draft
cheap.
them? What round?
You could draft them first. You could draft them
What?
third.
You expect me
Yes.
to waste my first or third? First of all, that's ludicrous. For me to waste
Why
my
is that
first round
ludicrous?
pick, a wide receiver. There's so many holes this team needs to fill. We still didn't fill Christian Wilkins.
Yeah.
You know, we still need some offensive linemen. For me to waste my first pick on a wide receiver is just egregious.
And you have no money. So drafting a wide
That's another
receiver
problem.
that you got
Yeah.
on the cheap that you have for the next 4 years is a
Yeah.
great problem. What are you talking about, man? Why am
But
I
he-
fixing your squad?
But he can do that in the 5th round, though. I can't do that in no first round,
You
bro.
don't
If it's as
know
deep as you
fifth
say
round-
it is,
Listen, no, you don't
I
want
thought
a
you said it
first-
was deep.
It is deep. So that's why you go first, second, and third. Those are the guys that can contribute right
can't.
now. And you
We
get
have
on
a
the
first,
cheap.
we have a first, second, and 5th. That's all we have, Vlad. And I
So
can't
then
give him my first or second.
What do you mean? What do you
can't do
talking
that.
about? What do you Donald,
The
can you
mi-
explain to this man that
A
if
first
you
or
have a
second
first,
wide
second, and
receiver?
a 5th, you can draft a receiver in either the first or second round. That could
Yeah.
you could plug in
You
right
could,
now.
but his point is there are other
Yeah,
positions
do
you
that.
need to fill. Like you need
What other position you need to fill? Remember, you don't get no
Offensive
money.
lineman.
offensive lineman,
Money doesn't
defensive
come
lineman.
off. That
I
money
need the
that money
trenches.
doesn't come back until June 1st. That's when you're able to sign vets. You talking about vet? That's when you get those vets, the vet offensive linemen that will be cut and released, and you'll be able to sign on the cheap, because that's what you need. You don't need no what guy you're gonna get at 22. You're not gonna get one of those best tackles at 22.
Yeah, we could definitely get. I think
You might need to get Penix at 22 if he's there.
Okay, that'd be something. I think, what if I'm not mistaken, one of the best offensive tackles are. Honestly, I don't even nowadays in offensive linemen, you play all positions. So I just think they have him listed as a lineman because he can play everything except for center. In a few mock drafts that we were seeing from NFL.com about 2 or 3 days ago, we're slated to pick up an offensive lineman in that first round. Even in the second round, I wouldn't feel comfortable getting a wide receiver because you have Tyreek Hill, you
Chris
have
Greer
Jalen Waddle.
loves missing.
And
on
what
first-round
happened
offensive linemen.
when you didn't
True.
have and what happened when those guys got banged up or hurt? Get a young guy. Plus, also, how much more are you willing to deal with this Tyreek mess?
Well,
Mm.
we're going to create new messes on the other side because we have Goosies, no Goosies coming your way next here on Tobin and Leroy.
You
All right. Let's get some Goosies. No Goosies today. This is how I wanted to end my week. This and some spring break a little bit later, Marcos.
Absolutely, Donno. Got to make sure that you have a good idea of what's going on this weekend in case you get bored at Ultra and you want to do some other things.
Right. That's true. When I'm tripping up there at Ultra, I'm gonna want to know what's on TV this week.
When you've hugged every tree at Bayfront Park and you want something else to do, come no further. I have all the answers here. Donno, let's start with number one. I mentioned this to Leroy yesterday. Wanted to see if he was into this. For some reason, I feel like you may be a little bit more into this, but I could be wrong. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire comes out today, actually. That is combining all the original Ghostbusters with the new versions, and they're all back together in this brand new kerfuffle thing they got going on called the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yeah, I heard. I actually happened to catch the part of the show where you guys were talking about that, and I was upset. Like I was upset at how Leroy completely dismissed this Ghostbusters, like completely dismissive. For me, it was important to get most of the original cast. I know one of them is deceased, unfortunately, but to get the majority of the original cast back, that means something to me because in like previous Ghostbuster reboots, I didn't watch that. That one with Melissa McCarthy that came out. It's just not. It doesn't tie into the original. It was a complete reboot. I had no interest in that. But I grew up on the original two movies, Ghostbusters 2. It was a huge part of my childhood. The old cartoon that was on, like that was a huge part of my childhood. Back in the 80s and early 90s. So yes, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to be a good movie. It might end up being terrible. But am I excited for it? Abso-freaking-lutely.
For some reason, I pegged you as a 80s kind of like nostalgia. I feel like anything 80s. I mean, you're wearing a Jaws hat as we speak, so let's start with that.
Yeah, like I'm huge. Like it started in the 70s, but it went into the 80s. But like I'm all in on the Back to the Future movies. I love the Jaws movies, Ghostbusters. Like those are my jams.
I got another throwback for you on this second one here. The trailer released yesterday. And speaking of old nostalgic movies that are going to tap into the original cast, the original maybe came out, about 30, maybe 40 years ago? Beetlejuice. Back in action, baby. It's expected September of this year, but the trailer came out yesterday.
Oh,
does Beetlejuice reboot give you Goosies or no Goosies?
Are they recasting it? Like, is Michael Keaton going to be Beetlejuice?
Indeed, Michael Keaton is in it.
That's all I need to know. I'm all in. Yeah. I'm all in.
Oh, that's all it took.
If it's got Keaton, I'm eating.
I love Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
I love the fact that he's just reprising all his old roles and he's making money now.
Oh, by the way,
Batman.
I see this message from Silly Sauce. He's 100% right that I cried watching Back to the Future 3. He's 100% right. So this was we were doing this was like during all the COVID lockdowns, and we were doing like those movie reviews on the Hawk and Crowder show, and like I rewatched all, and I've seen them all 100 times, but I've rewatched all the Back to the Future movies. There's something about like part 3 ending the saga. It was definitely the least of the 3 movies. Part 1 and part 2 far superior to Back to the Future Part 3, but something about the ending, I teared up a little bit.
Not your best moment, Donno. Not your best moment.
It's kind of soft, Donno. I'm sorry.
Is that the Western? That's not the Western, right?
It is the Western, yeah.
It is the Western.
Donno, get out of here.
Like the whole ending, like Doc Brown, he falls in love, he gets married, and then like he gives Marty that advice. He's like, the future is whatever you make it, and it just, I don't know, man, something about it got me tearing up.
He's about to tear up right now.
I might cry again thinking about it.
You're getting emotional again.
Yeah.
If you
J-Fig
hear that,
remembers that was the J-Fig movie reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, those are classic, bro. People still talk about them to this day. Moving on in some more news, the NFL has spoken. They will not be banning the tush push.
They're not banning the tush push?
The tush push is still legal in the NFL. Does that give you goosies or no goosies?
It gives me goosies. I support not banning it because that's the type of play where don't ban it, figure out a way to stop it. And
ban it.
Why?
Oh, he's had enough. It's illegal, dude. It's not football.
You understand? Wait a minute. Okay. Guys, have you not seen Jalen Hurts bench press?
Is he strong?
Squat. It's when he squats is what the real
right. He squats. You ever seen squat? He squats like 600 pounds.
It's
right?
insane. So okay. So why?
And then now you added Saquon Barkley, who probably squats 700 pounds.
Okay.
What are you gonna? How are you gonna stop that?
So you got rid of Kelsey. Why don't other players on other teams start hitting the squat rack the way that these guys do, and you can do your own tush, but nobody else does it like the Eagles.
Listen, Donno. Okay. There's people that work out and you could look like Mr. Olympia, and there's people that work out and you just still look like a regular schmegler. That's it.
So maybe you shouldn't be in the NFL.
Right. Those guys are not regular schmegler. Those guys are top condition athletes. And you add Saquon to the tush push, they're going to go like 100 out of 100. They're going. There's no stop.
They did lose Kelsey though. You don't think that that weighs into it?
Kelsey retired.
I won't be shocked.
And they still found a way to choke and what they didn't even get into the playoffs last year.
Right?
So I mean, listen, man, the tush push didn't save them then.
Yeah, I think that was probably benefited them. The fact that they didn't have had they gone all the way, for example, to the NFC Championship and been utilizing the tush push, I'm sure there would have been more people up in arms attempting to ban it for sure. Moving on, I'm not sure how much you'd be following this. I know if Leroy's listening, this is news that definitely got him pretty riled up. Tiger.
Oh, I knew you were going golf.
Tiger Woods registers for the 2024 Masters Tournament.
Whatever.
Tiger at the Masters. Oh, okay. I guess I know where Vlad's Goosies lie, but what about you, Donno? Goosies or no Goosies?
Goosies, because it's going to give me something to think about and talk about, but we all know how this is going to end.
For how long? For what? 2 days?
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
He's not even going to make the cut.
He's not going to make the cut. He's going to have.
He's going to be hurt.
Exactly. An injury is going to flare up, and he's not going to make the cut. So we all know how it's going to end. But still, man, Tiger Woods, he means something to me. So Goosies.
Yeah, they say that he's only played one round of professional golf this year after taking part in the Genesis Invitational. He withdrew
only one more than me.
Yeah, for sure. He withdrew after 6 holes in the second round due to illness. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily.
He was playing bad. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, Tiger, it's done. I'm not even sure why he's still. He probably just wants to advertise his new merch. That's probably what he's looking at.
Maybe he's got an interpreter with a gambling problem. He's got to support it.
Ooh, could be.
He needs to go back to Perkins.
Wow, the low blow.
Last,
exactly.
Last one on the way out, Donno. I know you've probably been checking your Apple Music and your Spotify for this one. Future and Metro Boomin finally dropped their long-awaited joint album, We Don't Trust You. That was
I don't know what any of that means.
You go, boy. You go. So I'm gonna go with no Goosies then. I'm assuming for Future and Metro Boomin's album.
No Goosies. I listen to most of my playlists on Apple Music are made up of Led Zeppelin and AC/DC.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like a lot of stuff you do is from the 80s and 70s, Donno. What's going on here? Can we get you in? Can we get you in the 2000s at any point?
Well, you got him at spring break in the 90s. So
I did. I was in the spring break in the 90s. Yeah. No, I watched all that. Like I was into like that was the I was into contemporary music in the 90s, but then the older I got, I revert back to like eras before I was born. It's an odd thing, but it is what it is.
Well, I am Goosies galore for this.
Goosies for the Future Metro Boomin album,
right? Because
I haven't heard anything.
I just want to hit a Kendrick Lamar verse where he goes after J. Cole and.
I've heard of Future, but I don't know what Metro Boomin is.
Metro Boomin is a producer.
Indeed. Oh, so there's a you're saying there's a verse there where
Kendrick Lamar goes in. Yes, that's what everybody's talking about right now.
Can't wait to hear that. I did hear Big Sean recently address the media, not the media, on social media. he dropped like a snippet of a song in which he kind of mentioned that he's overlooked in talks of the big three, Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. But, Big Sean, good lyricism. Kendrick, good lyricism. It's glad to see that making a comeback in hip hop.
Little known fact, my favorite hip hop artist is Art God Savvy.
Donno. Hey, give this guy a point. He's good.
He's good.
Point for brown nosing.
Yeah. That concludes Goosies or No Goosies, gentlemen.
That was good. It was
Great.
cool.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna have some headlines in a busy noon hour. I was promised some spring break at some point. I'm actually gonna be on spring break next week because that's when my son's on spring break. So I'm getting into the spirit now. I'm getting into that spirit. Tobin and Leroy show, AM 560 Sports, WQAM. And the bad weather has officially reached me down here. It is thundering outside. It is pouring rain outside. We are down in South Dade County, my friends. This is not a good way for me to start my spring break.
Yeah, good. You can get all the rain out of the way, though.
Right.
And you can set it up for a wonderful week next week, hopefully, for you.
Wonderful. We got any wonderful headlines on this fine Friday?
Indeed, these headlines are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
They know trucks.
Marcos, did you change like your camera angle? Because I don't see.
Yeah, you got more lighting now.
No onesie anymore.
Indeed, there's a lot of stuff going on in my home today. So my lovely fiance is working from home. Our babysitter, who usually comes Monday through Friday, her daughter is on spring break, so she's dealing with her child. We had a cleaning lady who was going to come here to take a look at the home to give us a quote on how much that'll cost. My dog is an obnoxious Chihuahua, and my baby is growing 4 teeth at once. So long story short, there's so much going on. Who knows if I'm going to do the final segment from my car or the restroom or the balcony? We never know.
and yeah, it's going to be a good one. I love how he's growing 4 teeth at once, so he's more of a shark than a frog.
He's a walrus?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he started with the 2 bottom ones, and then now 4 coming from the top. And I tell you what, if teething from 1 tooth is bad, imagine what the hell I'm going through right now.
I'm sorry, man. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's the worst indeed, but love him. And no matter how annoying and how frustrating it may be, literally just flashes one smile, and he knows he's got me.
I hate that.
He knows he's got me.
That's it. That's what I hate about kids, bro.
Sucks, dude. He's a terrorist.
That's all I
hate.
So is mine. Yeah.
They're just, they're terrorizing, they're annoying, they're bothersome, and you really just want to get rid of them. And then they smile. And then that's it. That one damn little smile.
Every time, dude.
Everything. All the time.
Happens to be every day with my kid.
What am I supposed to do with this kid? I look at him and I want to, and then he's too small. He doesn't really understand what he's doing, and he's not even doing anything on purpose. So what am I really going to do?
That's the other thing. They don't understand anything. I thought they're supposed to absorb things, but they don't. You tell them not to do it, they still do it. They make a mess, and then they look at you like, "I'm cute."
What am I supposed to do?
How you gonna say that? Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Adorable. Well, what are you supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do here?
And you got him for the rest of your life. It's over.
He bites now, though. It's vicious. He bites. He really is more of a shark. Let's get into some headlines here. One thing we haven't mentioned, hopefully they're having better weather up there in Jupiter. Miami Marlins have some spring training today at 6:40 p.m. Against the St. Louis Cardinals. And I bring this up only to say that a little bit later on in the show, we'll be giving away a family 4-pack to the Miami Marlins opening day, which will take place next Thursday. I'm not sure if that's on your spring break agenda there, Donno.
I'm going to be out of town for that one, but I may watch.
Wow.
Depending on where I am.
So yeah, keep listening for your chance to win that family 4-pack of tickets. And some other news, we mentioned the Miami Heat are back in action against the New Orleans Pelicans. And although we're still waiting on an official injury report from the Miami Heat, we do know Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans will be out for at least 2 weeks after hyperextending his knee and suffering a knee contusion against Orlando yesterday. So
yeah, you don't want injuries at this time.
No, you do not.
Heading towards the playoffs, especially
absolutely.
That's why the Heat have been maintaining pretty much all season.
Now, it's going to be a little bit hard if you plan on going to either this game or Sunday's game for the Miami Heat, as Ultra is in South Florida. So per the Miami Heat, for tonight's 8 p.m. game versus the Pelicans at Kaseya Center, they've already released a statement saying, Ultra Music Festival will affect our traffic patterns for tonight's game. Please expect traffic delays. As if
leave now. Like seriously, an 8 o'clock tip off tonight. Just leave now. If you need to hang out at Ultra for a few minutes before the game starts, just do that. But if you try to go there and park, you want to leave right now to get there. Hopefully in about 7 hours.
With rain with ultra, with the normal traffic a game brings, I can just imagine that's going to be at least a 2 to 3 hour
rain
commute.
too. That's
It's
another
gonna
one.
be rough, dude.
People forget how to drive when it rains. Even though it rains here so much, you'd think like, you can still handle your business out there. Nope.
It's all those bastards that aren't from here, Donno.
Is that what it is? The snowbirds? They don't have rain in Canada?
Oh, it doesn't rain in Milwaukee. So why are you here, sir? Other than that, we talked about the unfortunate Florida Panthers loss against the Predators yesterday. They have a chance to right that wrong against Vlad's New York Rangers tomorrow at 8 p.m.
I didn't realize it was the Rangers tomorrow. That's a good one.
Indeed. It should be a good game for sure. Should be a good game. We've talked about it briefly as well. The Miami Dolphins had a meeting yesterday with OBJ. No real news out of that. So I guess no news is good news for the people who not necessarily thrilled with the idea of signing Odell Beckham Jr. The only thing to come out is that the meeting went well. But what the hell does that even mean, really?
Yeah, and like heading into the meeting, for what it's worth, I did sound like there was some momentum that both sides want to get something done. But not surprisingly, I think the sticking point is not Odell wanting to be here. I think he'd like to be here. I think the Dolphins would like to add him to their roster. I'm sure the sticking point is just finding a number that doesn't destroy the Dolphins salary cap that you would reasonably pay to a soon-to-be 32-year-old receiver who can only play so many snaps because of his knee issues, but can still add a lot of value to the team. So they've got to find something. Maybe, I don't know. Like you mentioned, they were paying Cedric Wilson $7 million last year. If you can try to find something closer to that than to the $15 million that OBJ made in Baltimore last year.
Yeah, I'd say $7 million is my cap. If he wants anything more than that, he needs to kind of take a step back and understand he's Carmelo Anthony on the Rockets. He's not Carmelo Anthony on the Knicks. It's one of those situations there.
Okay.
This is maybe about, I don't know, let's say 60 seconds away. The Northwestern Wildcats, ranked at number 9, take their 21-11 record against the Florida Atlantic Owls of Vlad's alma mater.
I got 8 big ones on FAU today.
So let's
big
see
dollars,
what,
huh?
$8, yeah, literally 800 cents.
What is the cash at? Like, whoa, if you win, what do you get?
I think it's minus 110, so it's a little under $8. I bet him against the spread minus 2.5. So it gets
Don, are you one of those guys that bets? Like, for example, I have a friend that'll put in a bet and he'll bet $13 to essentially win 15. Like, to me, I feel like I want value. Granted, my record is probably 2-93.
Well, I mean, there are different ways to define value. Like sometimes you may see value in, I've got this crazy like plus 5,000 odds. I'm going to put $1 on that, but then you're more than likely not going to win. It's like a lottery ticket. You could call that value, or you could say I've got a pretty good feeling a team's going to cover a 2.5 point spread, and even if I make a little bit less than I bet, there's different ways to find value. Now, bad value would be if you make a bunch of money line bets on if you're betting like boxing and UFC fights where it's like I will only bet like minus 700 favorites on the money line. That's not value. You're probably going to win most of those, but the time you lose, it's catastrophic. Different ways to find value.
Can I ask if this is either brilliant or very, very stupid? A friend of mine the other day, we were at the Miami Heat game. He decided to bet first person to score, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he bet, I think there was like 6 options available. He bet every single one of them at $1. And if he won, he would have gotten, I think, $7. So essentially,
the upside was
he just won his money back. That's all.
So why even do that?
I've never done that, but one thing I've done a handful of times, like betting on soccer games where they have the 3-way money line, where if you bet either, because you can bet on the game to tie, like you can't really do that in any other sport, but in soccer you can bet, like let's say the tie is like plus 250 or plus 325, and then you can also bet on the slight underdog to win at plus money. I may place both of those bets, so if I win either of those 2 bets, I'm winning money. Obviously, if the other team I didn't bet on wins, I lose. But I get that's another way to find value if you're looking at a couple things that are in the plus.
That's fair. That's probably better than my think the other day for the UFC. Remember the big UFC card that was in Miami?
Yeah.
Tobin and I put together a parlay that was going to net us about $40,000.
Did you didn't win, did you?
Not even close to. But here's the thing that
clearly
pissed me
not.
off. Usually I just kind of randomly just pull out whatever I can to make some money. In this sense, we talked to the fighters all week. I even asked
Okay.
Gilbert Burns. I said, Gilbert Burns, sir, we got some money on this. Are you gonna knock him out?
I heard that.
Or are you gonna put him in a chokehold or of some sort? He mentioned 4 different submissions that he was gonna put him in. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and bet submission Gilbert Burns. He seems like he's ready. He's locked in, and he almost had him towards the end of that second round. Unfortunately, he got knocked the hell out.
Yeah, that's not good.
So immediately,
there
goes my parlay.
You might have screwed with him. You might have had him thinking it's like I need to win by submission for Marcos. Like you were in his head, and then he ends up getting knocked out because he wanted to win a certain way. He maybe could have won by knockout because he wanted Marcos to cash his ticket. He got knocked out.
And I didn't take that into consideration. Next time we get him on the show, I'm going to ask him if he did that. And if that's the case,
in his head.
Then I'll forgive him. But other than that, dead to me, bro. Absolutely dead to me. Costing me $40,000. You owe me $40,000 if you're listening, Gilbert. And for the most part,
was that the only part of it you didn't hit? Was that?
Oh no! So
okay, so he didn't cost you $40,000.
But he was in the first one. He was the first one. So we had Poirier by knockout. That one was pretty good. Yeah. We had Michael Venom Page. This is another one that pissed me off too. He's all dancing around and stuff. We had Michael Venom Page, but we had it that the fight would not reach the distance. That was our bet right there. Right. And of course, it reached the distance.
It happens, dude. That's the thing. Like I bet on every UFC card. And when you try to start predicting the method of victory, it's happened to me so many times where you get the right fighter, but like, I had it by knockout, and it goes. It's drives you crazy. I feel
it really
like
does.
I should become somebody's interpreter.
Indeed. And if it goes as well as it did for Shohei's interpreter, I think it was like $4.5 million in debt before this became a public story. So I'm only about $460 in debt. So take that.
It's pretty good.
Mind you, this is like a $20 bets at a time. So you can imagine how much I've lost.
Oh, for me, I'm $8 bets at a time.
Solid. Those are our headlines again. Please be on the lookout. Later on this show, we will be giving out a family 4-pack to Marlins opening day next Thursday, March 28th.
Where's Jay Fig? Is she going to pop in the show at any point?
Jay Fig does what she wants to. I don't even know.
Maybe next segment or the last segment.
She's getting her makeup done. She has some hair and makeup that lasts about 2 hours.
Yeah, it takes like 2.5 hours.
Especially when it rains and it's humid outside.
It's rough, dude. Absolutely rough for her.
She got the raccoon eyes.
I'm guilty, dude. I'm guilty of that. I need to get those patches that go under my eyes, bro, because this baby is killing me, bro.
We will have also later this hour some Easter. Jay Fig just gave me a -1. My bad. We continue. Tobin and Leroy Show, AM 560 Sports, WQAM.
15 Minutes of Heat is sponsored by Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start the new year in a new ride with no payments for 90 days. Kendall Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.com.
15 minutes of heat. I hope the 15 minutes of third quarter go well tonight. And I hope some fans can get there tonight with the rain, the traffic, ultra. Just seriously, leave now. Leave now to go to the game tonight because I do want to see Kaseya Center just packed this evening. But
hold
yeah,
on. So hold on there, Donno. We have to say hi, Jennifer.
Hi,
Hello,
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah, they
didn't
go
see her there.
hello. I go hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Vlad.
Jennifer. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Are you staying dry?
I actually had to run outside to get a package because they left it in my mailbox instead of on my porch, which is whatever, it's fine. And my legs are pretty soaked.
Drenched. Why do you have flooding by your area?
Actually, yeah, there is some flooding towards the front.
Damn. Yeah, I have bad flooding in my neighborhood too. If it rains, there was like a time. There wasn't necessarily a storm. I think it was sometime last year. It wasn't a storm, but it was a period in which it rained like for an entire week straight. I don't know if you guys remember that. The flooding in my neighborhood was up to my knees. It was very bad.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, Leroy's son's car got like stuck in the middle of the road or something like that. It was pretty bad. People were abandoning their cars.
Was last year, right?
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Jeez.
15 minutes of heat is going to be a quick 15 seconds of heat because we've talked about the Heat. They played tonight. Brandon Ingram is injured. No injury report has come out yet. We get it, guys. We get it. Anything else, you guys? Am I missing anything in regards to the Miami Heat?
Oh, should I lock in? Because I got all my March Madness bets. Should I lock in the Miami Heat tonight? Let me see what the old.
Hold on, maybe
Whatever you do, don't listen to Marcos. You're gonna lose some money.
That's
no.
true.
I'd be better off listening to Shohei's interpreter than listening to Marcos.
He was worse than me, I think.
Guys, hold on. Just
Heat -3 tonight. What do you think? That's like
Heat
an NFL
maybe
line.
we send some nice lady friends to Zion's room right now.
Oh yeah, that'll distract him.
Send him some room service.
No, he's
There's
not.
a lot of
He's
people
not
flying
eating it.
in.
I know
No,
he's trimmed down.
He lost weight.
I know he's
now.
lost like 25 pounds, but it's probably because he's eliminated the temptation. Like if we start like sending him DoorDash, I don't think he's going to be able to resist.
I don't know. This is hard temptation. There's a lot of temptations down here. Food, nightclubs.
I was going to say
Again,
weather.
I feel like the food is the kryptonite for him. More
I don't
so
know, but
than
no, it's not that. No. I don't think it's the food.
He's had a busy offseason.
More than food. It's more than food. With Zion.
He has a busy offseason, but he's managed to actually put together a pretty solid season. Probably one of his better seasons since entering the NBA.
Yeah, I agree.
But it doesn't matter. They're gonna lose tonight. Take the bet there. Take the line there. You guys ready for some trivia?
I was born ready. You know I love
What
trivia.
trivia are we playing?
So this is gonna be Easter themed trivia.
I just reread all the chapters in the New Testament about about the original. I'm ready. I'm fully ready for this.
Absolutely perfect. This is good. This is definitely good. Hopefully you didn't do too much research because I don't do that much research, so we're probably reading the same links if you did.
This show does not do research, guys.
We did not do the research. We kind of go off vibes here.
No research, just vibes.
Let us start off with question number 1. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
It's going to be multiple choice because if not, Figgy will be very angry. There are quite a bit of candies consumed during Easter. In fact, according to the National Confectioners Association, which I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Confectioners? What?
Yeah.
What
no,
I'm sure Zion Williamson is a member.
Confectioners. Easter is one of the top holidays for candy sales. They're specifically known for Easter bunnies, chocolate Easter bunnies.
Yeah.
About how many chocolate Easter bunnies are made each year for Easter? Is it 100 million? Is it 90 million? Or is it 125 million Easter bunnies made for Easter each year.
125 million.
J Fake says 125. Again, just give you the options one more time. 125 million,
Beep.
100 million, and 90 million.
I'm going to go 100 million. I'm going to go right in the middle.
Solid.
90.
All right. I mean, the only answer left, so understandable. Want to make sure that
right.
And the correct answer is, Vlad, is there smoke behind you? Because you're on fire, baby. That is another one right there for Vlad.
I was actually looking behind it. I'm like, what's going on with
Dang.
It
90
is
million?
pretty great. Yeah, 90 million.
And that's worldwide, not domestic?
I was trying to watch your eyes. I saw you look at your computer screen.
Yeah.
You guessed the other two, and I'm like,
Dang.
Didn't work for me.
I've learned this week Vlad is really good at trivia. Like, no matter what it is, spring break, candy, he can't
I'm going to have to consult Vlad. Although I won yesterday's trivia, so I don't know.
I'll let you win that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you win that.
All right. So now, when consuming these Easter bunnies, there's a certain method to the madness if you want to make sure you consume that chocolate to the best of your ability. And let me just ask, this isn't one of the trivia questions. This isn't me asking your guys' opinion. You have a chocolate Easter bunny in front of you. How are you going to devour that bunny? Where do you start? Do you start at the feet? Do you start somewhere weird? Do you bite off one of the ears? What do you normally do?
I bite off the ears.
Usually everyone does, right? Makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Now, that is the overwhelming majority of people, according to the National Confectioners Association.
Okay.
But let's find out now, what percentage of people eat the ears first when enjoying chocolate Easter bunnies? Is that 84%, 76%, or 79%?
I'm gonna go 84%. I don't know why you'd start anywhere place else.
I'll say 79.
76.
I get it. I appreciate that you guys are picking different answers. It really helps. It really helps when we go to the end. Except for when Vlad's winning and I say the last question is worth a bajillion points and he gets upset. The correct answer, when enjoying chocolate Easter bunnies. Vladdy did it again, baby. 76% of people. 76% of people eat the ears first. So far, so good, Vlad. You were killing it, dude.
He's cheating. It's official.
Am I cheating?
He's
you know what?
Answer
you know why I'm cheating? Because
you're a cheater.
I'm a stoner. That's why.
You're consuming the chocolate. He knows.
When I'm picking up the maybe I should go with the ears this time, huh?
But you knew to go with the ears 76% of the time. That's the scary thing. Like, I don't know how you would know that.
3/4 of the times. You gotta understand. 3 out of 4.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little crazy. All right, now let's move on to the world's largest Easter egg. Donno, you may want to close your ears because it is found in
Italy,
Alberta, Canada.
Oh yeah,
I want to go there so bad.
I know how much you hate Canada.
You don't want to go to Alberta. There's nothing.
Why
there.
not?
Calgary or just any place in Alberta.
They have no rights up there. They can seize your bank accounts up in Canada.
Wow.
Bacon is terrible.
All I want is just to see the mountains and the nice scenic views. But what is that?
There are mountains in most every country in the world. You don't need to go to Canada. America
hates Canada.
You're destroying my dreams right now.
There's a lot of good stuff down here. You don't need to go to Canada. There's a lot of countries.
So you're saying I should not go kayaking through those beautiful little mountains?
You might freeze.
Little, they're not little.
No.
Well, it has to be during like spring or summer.
It's all cold year round in Alberta. Don't even worry about it.
I tell, as a man who has strange beefs with, people like Klay Thompson or Jason Tatum's son, I can respect Donno's hatred for Canada. So I would take his suggestions with a grain of salt, but I would appreciate his passion towards the hatred of Canada. Now, the world's largest Easter egg stands 31 feet tall. and 18 feet wide, and it took 12,000 hours to complete. How much does the world's largest Easter egg weigh?
Wow.
It sounds like one of those questions that they would have in a math test that I would just ignore.
If a train is going north in Alberta at the same time. So again, it stands 31 feet tall, 18 feet wide. Took 12
what's
hours
the
to
formula? What do I multiply?
What do I carry? What do I carry?
The egg itself weighs how much? Is it 5,000 pounds? Is it 1,500 pounds? Or is it 7,500 pounds? This time, I'm going to start with Vlad.
Wait, all right, so you say it's 31 feet tall.
31 feet tall,
I know
18
the
feet
answer,
wide.
guys.
Took 12,000 hours to complete.
And the
So,
all right.
the potential answers,
Buddy.
5,000. This is weigh 5,000 pounds, 1,500 pounds, or 7,500 pounds. That's offensive, Dade South. Offensive.
Hey, what is it again? Give me the answers again.
No, you
Give
want
us
to give people
numbers.
points and stuff.
Give
No.
us the numbers.
All right. Is it 5,000 pounds,
5,000,
1,500 pounds,
1,500,
or 7,500?
I'm going 1,500.
Solid.
Was that A, B, or C?
I'm going with B.
That was B.
That was B. Okay.
You said it's 31 feet tall, is what you said?
Yes, indeed. 31 feet tall, 18 feet wide.
I'm going 5,000. I'm going to go right in the middle.
Solid.
So you took my answer.
You said
No,
1,500.
you said 1,500.
Oh, okay. So you're going 5,000. Okay.
Yeah. Figgy, what you thinking?
I'll pick the other one that was not chosen.
7,500. Solid. And my question would have been, is it filled with anything? That would kind of probably.
Yeah, if it's hollow, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. So the correct answer is 5,000 pounds. Donno, you did it this time.
Nice,
5,000 pounds.
You went with Vlad's answer.
No, I didn't. I didn't go with Vlad's answer.
No,
Vlad thought he did.
His potential answer.
Well, I mean,
potential. Now, many believe that Americans learned about the Easter Bunny in the 1700s from immigrants who settled in the Pennsylvania Dutch country. But Easter rabbit itself was first associated with writings found during the 1500s in this country.
Oh, geez.
The Easter Bunny's origin can be traced back to which of these three countries? Is it Germany, Switzerland, or England?
I'm saying Switzerland.
J-Fig fires out with Switzerland, which makes sense. Swiss chocolate makes sense.
Swiss bunny.
Swiss bunny. I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
So, which one?
I'm going
are
with
you
the
guys
Germans.
picking? The Germans. They have good chocolate too, so that makes sense.
I'm also going with German because I don't feel like I'm not even sure if Switzerland was a thing in the 1500s.
But I might
Maybe
go
it
with,
was.
you know what? Maybe I should have gone with Britain because their teeth is always messed up, and it could be for the chocolate.
Eating the chocolate. I don't
And
know.
Why would it be a chocolate?
A big reason why I'm going with German is because like
I'm going
they
with still Team Germany.
I feel like they're prolific with holiday stuff because they I think that's where Santa Claus came from as well.
I feel like when they were just going crazy, that chocolate was like their dessert when they were killing people and doing nastiness. Like,
Really?
pop that chocolate. Yeah, I'm just going with that.
Yeah.
Wow,
okay.
you took it to a very dark place.
I took it to another level. But you got to do that.
Can I change my answer now? I don't even know if I want to.
No, don't change it.
I don't know.
I'm going to stick with German.
I'm going to stick with Germany as well. But even though I think the Brits, it might be England because the Brits' teeth are bad, but still, go ahead.
All right. The correct answer is Biggie. You got it wrong. Germany.
I knew you were going to say that to me.
See, I knew it. You got to think. You got to think. You got to think twisted in order to win this.
I don't think so. I don't think
you have to go that
That's
twisted.
you thinking twisted.
Or you just got to just guess right, like Vlad's been guessing.
Right.
See, people normally tell me just the first instinct, just say it, and then that's what I do.
The UK's
0 for
first
3.
chocolate egg was
Usually I'm wrong.
produced in 1873.
Oh wow.
Okay.
They were really
By the way,
late.
in Germany, Good Friday, which precedes Easter weekend, it is illegal to dance on Good Friday in Germany.
Really? Why? It's not a good
Oh.
why? Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's like the
Okay.
town from Footloose.
By the way, very awkward, right? It's called Good Friday, and the
Yeah.
man died.
I know. Yeah, it's very awkward.
Very
It's
strange.
very awkward. Wait,
Very
why?
strange.
It
How
should
is
be
that
Sad
good?
Friday.
Shouldn't that be Bad
Very
Friday?
twisted.
Yeah,
Should be Bad Friday.
I'm just
Sad
saying.
Friday.
We should
God,
make
you
it.
gotta-
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's move
gotta
Black
change-
Friday to
You gotta
that
change
day.
the holiday, God. You gotta change the holiday. It's not good.
All right. Now, this last question
Oh my God.
Bajillion points, right?
worth
This
a
is the bajillion
bajillion,
point question.
bajillion points, dude.
We
This
still
is like
got
the
a chance.
I
playing.
better
This is
get
like the
this one
playing game.
right.
This is like the playing game. You can
This is
miss
the play.
every answer. Just
Yeah.
get this one run. You're in.
This is
Right,
it.
You
right.
win.
This is my time to shine.
There you go, J Fig.
Are you guys familiar with the annual White House Easter egg roll?
Yes, that's every
Easter, you got it.
I
Good boy.
I'm actually not.
every happens every year in April.
They eat egg rolls.
Wonder why. No, the annual Eastern. Honestly, there is a place called World Famous that Leroy was crazy about that he also had at the Super Bowl party that has custom egg rolls. I'm telling you, I've had chicken parmesan in the egg roll. It's
That
delicious.
sounds
It really,
awesome.
it really is pretty good. But the annual egg roll in Washington D.C. is a celebration that occurs, obviously Easter Monday,
Every
or
April. Yes.
April
Easter
1st.
weekend.
Easter weekend. They do it on the Monday. It's continuing one of the oldest traditions. I think they just do your like an annual egg hunt. They roll some eggs. It's fun. It's cute. It's great. Kids go after eggs. You can bring your children to the White House. It's great. It's beautiful. But the question that we're asking is about how many people attend this thing that Donald didn't even know existed.
I didn't know it existed.
It
Yeah,
happens.
that's
Well,
true.
if you watched the movie with Nick Cage,
Two-Face.
where they keep on going about history.
Oh, I
he,
know.
yeah.
The National Treasure one?
There you go.
Yeah.
National Treasure. One of the national
that what it's
treasures.
called?
They use
Yeah,
they
I only
use the
saw the first
Easter.
one.
They use the Easter hunt as a way for him to get inside the Oval Office for him to
Can we
see
watch that?
the two tables.
How many people
So,
were there?
yes. So from that, I don't know, because that was many people. You had a studio. You had you had a lot of people,
Okay.
directors, producers, execs. So there's probably like
Lot of-
maybe
lot of
40,
extras.
50 people. A whole bunch of extras. This is probably. Wait, are you giving us the?
Let me give
Yeah,
you
give
some
us
numbers.
the-
Let me give you some numbers.
Wait,
Yeah,
so what's
give
the
us the numbers.
question? I got
The-
I got lost in your description.
That's fair.
I fell asleep.
How many people attend?
You, Mike
How many
McDaniel,
people
does,
attend
okay?
the Easter White House thingamajig?
Yes. How many people
Right.
attend the annual White House Easter egg roll in
Okay,
Washington,
cool. Go
D.C.?
before I forget again.
Is it 55,000 people? Is it
I don't know.
100,000 people? Or is it 40,000 people?
Say 40.
I'm
Right.
also saying 40.
Even though I know I'm wrong.
No, I'm
Same
saying 40 because, like, I don't know. I feel like when you're doing anything in or around the White House, security,
Shouldn't it be a little bit more exclusive?
it should be a little more exclusive. If you're letting in like 100,000 people, all bets are off. I'm gonna go 40.
See,
Yeah,
that's why you
100,000
guys are-
seems like a lot.
See, that's why you guys are smart. So 40 seems reasonable. 100 seems a lot. That's why you go in the middle. What was it? 55?
55.
I'm going with the 55.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
And
Good
if you
reasoning
notice
there.
something with Marcos, all his answers are usually B.
Seriously. You know what?
Mm.
Marcos, we're gonna fight.
Damn.
All
Well,
of Marcos'
When I
answers
used
is
when I
usually
used
B.
to take multiple choice tests and I didn't know anything, I would always go like C or like whatever was in the
Same.
middle.
Yeah, but all
Yeah.
of Marcos' answers are always B.
well, this time it is C. 40,000 visitors.
Yes.
That
Wait,
means
so now are we tied?
that means J Fig and Donald.
No,
are
J
tied
Fig
for
wins.
the-
No, Donald wins.
Yeah, because I
Oh,
got
Donald
I
had
got
one
two,
extra point.
I got an extra point.
Oh my god.
He has
Oh,
one. He has
Fine, I
bajillion
will
one
allow
points.
it.
this is the greatest day of my life.
A bajillion and one.
He's been, you know what? Donald has been waiting for this
He
for
really has.
several
have.
days
Where he
now.
all week for this.
So-
He just wanted.
I
Like, look
love
at it. He's
playing
gonna win
trivia.
and leave. He's
I'm
gonna win
happy
and
you
leave.
won.
Yeah.
I'm happy you won.
I love and I hate losing. Like when I was a couple of months ago, I was on a cruise and I came in
Oh.
second place on cruise ship sports trivia. And I was so pissed. I was just so mad. I
Wow.
felt like the other team was cheating. It was the whole thing.
Well,
Well, you know what?
Donno,
When he won that first point, Donno was in. He even leaned
Yeah.
forward. He was like, "I'm ready.
Yes.
Let's
Oh,
go."
really? If I knew
That
that,
was
if I
known.
knew it
I
was
saw
that
it.
competitive, I would have done better.
Vlad, is very nice of you to gift Donno the victory.
Thank you, Vlad.
I understand that you definitely could have ran away with that one, but it was kind of you to give them the victory.
welcome. I'm a kind guy.
That concludes this round of Easter trivia and this week of games
Spring
that we've
break.
played. Yeah, this spring break week of games that we played, and that is the final trivia. I'm almost sad to see it go.
Oh,
You know, we got to get super serious back when Tobin comes.
Yep.
You know how
Yeah,
we do.
that's
Of course,
super
yeah.
serious.
No silly sauce whatsoever.
Super serious.
Yeah.
Well, let's break.
All
And
right.
we'll be back for the final segment of this hour on Tobin and Leroy Show.
Oh,
This is still in theme. I appreciate that, Vlad.
still in spring break theme. This brings me to see this was I was in, not to say like I bought any Britney Spears music, but I was into this, man.
Sure.
Late
I don't
90s,
think there would be anything
MTV.
wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, Donno. You can be
I
honest.
mean, definitely watch the music videos.
Of course.
Was it, and that song, was this the one where she was in like the flesh colored bodysuit? It's not bad.
No. Oh wait, are you saying like the red one?
No, I think it was
Not flesh
Toxic.
colored, no.
Wasn't she? I think she was in a bodysuit.
Toxic is in the red one.
Whatever it was, red body. Yeah, that was a nice bodysuit.
Toxic.
Isn't that where she's also on a plane and she's wearing the
Oh yes, the stewardess thing.
Oh
Are you
yeah.
allowed to say that anymore?
No, I think that's sexist.
I apologize, but
I don't even know if you could say flight attendant anymore. I think it's like
Well, you know what? That's
like
why I
in-flight
said
manager or
understood.
something.
flight boy. No, you can't even say that.
No,
Boy.
you can't.
Can't say that. Is this the one that you did the snake with the snake performance?
No, that's no. That should. I think that's slave, right?
Oh, that was
Slave
good
for
too.
you,
Oh, that
right?
was
That was my favorite song. I'm not gonna lie. The
Yeah, I
music
don't know.
video just was great.
I'll tell you what, Britney is crazy and dances with knives now and gets slapped by Victor Wembanyama. But at a certain point in her life, she was an icon for sure.
She's toxic.
I see what you did there.
I feel
I
like
see
she's
what you
still an icon. Let's just go ahead and move forward from this topic.
Love you, Brittany. Love you, Brit.
Love you, Brittany.
Let's get a quick update. Actually, we had mentioned that FAU and Northwestern were in the middle of some action right
How's that
now.
looking?
So
I've got big money.
We
on
got
FAU.
we got 309 left in the first half. This is a low scoring game.
Wow,
We
yeah, it
have
really is.
FAU Owls 16 to Northwestern Wildcats 14.
Let's go. I'm covering.
FAU just scored right now. So it's
Let's go.
18-14. Donno's really covering because it's a 4-point lead. But if you had the total, if you had the over in the total, you're not looking too good right now.
Maybe this is specifically a testament to the defense, but let me tell you what Northwestern's starting lineup is currently shooting: 1 for 5, 1 for 4, 1 for 5, 1 for 5, 2 for 6. And as far as threes, the starting lineup as a total is currently right now 1 for 11 from 3-point.
Jeez. All right, let's go Owls. Playing
Not
that
looking
clamp down
good.
defense.
Clamps, putting the clamps on them. Let's show another local love to the Miami Marlins, who, again, we mentioned earlier, have a spring training game against the St. Louis Cardinals a little bit later. But they start their opening day because no one really counts that opening day from wherever
South
the hell
Korea?
that was. Well, like,
Nobody
what the
counts
hell
spring
is that,
training.
guys?
Nobody counts spring training.
No one
You
counts
count-
spring training for sure, but I'm saying the opening day that the Dodgers just did in South
No.
Korea.
Because
What the hell is that?
those games do count for the record. So
But
They do?
but they're
Yeah, for
coming
sure.
back just to play spring training games again.
Yeah, it's very strange.
We
Very
don't
strange.
count that. Opening baseball week begins this Thursday.
Correct. And if you want an opportunity to win a chance to see your Miami Marlins in action, now is your chance. And, this is a good time to win some free tickets. Miami Marlins are actually selling all-you-can-eat seats at
saw that.
$52. That's chili
bad.
dogs and nachos with cheese, burgers, popcorn, peanuts, cookies, sodas, and more included with that $52 value. And if you know anything about sporting events, you can spend $52 on 2 Pepsis. So, yeah.
That's a steal. That's a very good price.
It's a great deal.
It is. It is indeed a steal. And I'm going to go ahead and offer you another opportunity that is kind of like a steal here, but you're going to have to work for it. Got to be the correct caller. Right now, we're looking for a caller. Donno, can you give me a number 1 through 10, please?
Yeah, caller number 7.
Caller number 7 right now to 305-567-0560. Your opportunity to win our final 4-pack for Marlins opening day, March 28th, next Thursday against the Padres. Have an opportunity to see not only the Marlins, but J-Fig will be there in person, as well as the rest of the Tobin and Leroy crew. Vlad's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Donno's going to be somewhere in potentially Jamaica. I don't know where he's going.
I'm going to California, actually.
California.
Wow. That's nice.
All right.
Yep.
Just stay away from that hotel, California. I heard you can't check out or something like that.
You can never leave. Yeah.
Very strange. But with that being said, again, caller number 7. Call us right now when we get back on the other side. We still got some more fun. We got Dead to Me as well as a bunch of other shenanigans on the
Donno,
Tobin
enjoy your weekend. Have a good time.
Donno.
Oh, that's right.
Man.
Oh yeah,
know,
you
it's nice
guys are
talking
keeping
to
it going, but yeah, I got to skedaddle. I got to hit ultra first before we.
Take a picture of the environment. Make sure
take a
to also
picture of the
take a
rain.
picture with the trees.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
don't get too close to the tree. You may wind up in something, you know.
Yeah, yo. You don't want none of that tree sap.
Okay. More when we come back on the Tobin and Leroy Show.
Rock your body, yeah. Yeah. Rock your body right. Streets back.
Backstreet's back, and so are we right here on the Tobin and Leroy show. It has been a pretty fun spring break. Special shout out to our boy Vlad for holding things down in the control room. J Fig showing up every day, day in and day out. Leroy out on vacation while Little Spoon and Teaspoon enjoy France.
I've got to say, you took a lot of liberties yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Got a new phone. Don't know how to act. I have been out here photoshopping my life away.
Leroy sent a picture of his daughter in Paris. And Marcos had too much fun with the picture, just photoshopping people in. Photoshopping five guys in the picture.
And we're talking about the restaurant, by the way.
I'm so sorry. Yes,
they did do.
Yes.
I mean, they did land in Paris, and the first place they went to eat was Five Guys.
Five Guys,
correct.
Completely.
Yes.
It was the wrong
make sure we
choice for
specify
sure.
that.
I definitely took some liberties. You know, those pens, the stylus that these phones come with. I had to order mine separately because I don't know, just didn't come with the phone. So I'm thinking, all right, am I going to use this? What can I possibly advance my career with using this thing? And I turned out that it's not going to be necessarily to advance my career, but just to occupy my free time and do things like Photoshop Leroy in Paris. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, he looks like he's with his family. Pretty solid right there. For our radio audience and those listening on the app, go to Miami 560 WQAM on YouTube and Twitch to see this. So I did that. And then Tobin has a history with the Easter Bunny.
So yesterday I was at the mall and I noticed the Easter Bunny and I kind of had to do this.
This one looks pretty good though. Doesn't it look like their arms are around each other?
I mean, sure, but
I mean, it's horrible. You could see that Tobin was outside.
Exactly.
When he was taking his picture.
Yeah.
And the bunny's indoor. But
all right, well, but if you're blind though, you know, you have bad vision, then
okay.
Pretty good.
I just wanted him to recreate this picture. That's all.
Ooh. That is strange. Strange and uncomfortable what the bunny said to the man right before that picture was taken. But with that being,
he said again?
He said, damn, them cheeks. I don't know. I may be paraphrasing.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I may be paraphrasing. I'm not sure. It was something along the lines of that. Something that made him feel just as uncomfortable as that.
Hey, yo.
Let's get to some headlines. These headlines here are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
They know trucks.
Now today I've given you, and we've spoken ad nauseum about the events that are about to happen this weekend. But I don't think I
was speaking on this.
Yes, indeed.
I hate that word ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum.
Really yeah, are you really nauseous about speaking?
No, can I talk about anything to the point where it makes me nauseous?
You're nauseous, like really?
Yeah, from the sheer amount of times that I said, like, I can talk about something nasty, right, and that'll make me like gag because I'm thinking about, that's gross. But talk about something so much it makes me nauseous.
Nauseous? Come on.
Yeah, you know, whatever. Some people use fancy words. Sometimes I try to use them too. Hey
yo,
what fancy words? What I do now? The bunny asked Tobin. Okay, let's keep it moving. I don't think I mentioned this. We have some celebrity birthdays today, guys. We have quite a bit.
Whose birthday is it?
So let's start off with someone recognizable here. William Shatner.
Oh, Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk himself. Want to know how old Captain Kirk is? Want to give it a guess?
He's got to be 84.
Vlad's gonna guess it better than I am.
Yeah,
so.
right. 93 is the correct answer.
Wow.
That boy is 93.
See what happens when you go into space?
Yeah, bro. He doesn't look a day over 89.
It's fire season, guys.
Captain is Kirk it?
Nice. Every alien had a runaway when Captain Kirk was going to those planets.
R.I.P. Shoddy Lowe. His birthday.
Oh,
today.
they know.
Indeed. They do indeed. They do indeed know. Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele. His birthday today as well.
I think he's the funny one. He's the funnier one.
Yeah, he is. He's the funnier one, but one may argue that Jordan Peele is a more successful one just because of his career with the movies and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like we got another one here. JJ Watt. JJ Watt.
He'll be going to the Hall of Fame very shortly.
Indeed. Hall of Famer JJ Watt, about 35 years old.
Jeez.
This one here is if you're a fan of these sports blogs or the pizza blog he does, Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy, 47 years old, Barstool Dave, as you guys may know. And probably the most famous person born today on March 22nd, that would be Reese Witherspoon.
All right.
That is
everybody's favorite.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You
Reese
all love
Witherspoon.
it.
Legally
Everybody's
Blonde.
favorite actress. Reese Witherspoon.
Everyone's
Come on,
favorite
Legally
actress?
Blonde? Yeah.
Legally Blonde, Sweet Home Alabama, Hot Pursuit.
She's actually done a lot of good stuff lately. She's been more into like producing and directing. And she also has a new book club she does shows off those books.
Oh, nice. Book club. Could be me. Can't really stay focused on a book if there's no pictures. Need the pictures, my friend. Need the pictures. Like, what am I even doing here? We mentioned
what a textbook is.
I mean, I've heard of them.
He just never carried them.
No, absolutely not.
He said he never carried anything in school.
Thanks. Bro,
Exactly.
they said in high school, they'd send you back with like books, for the first week. Here, your textbooks you'll be using at home every time you sign your homework, so on and so forth. I would purposely work in the book room and help handing out the books and stuff so I could write, hey, Marcos received his books, but never have to carry the books home. So
Did that work for you?
no, because one year they claimed that I lost a book. And I was like, how did I lose it? I never even took it out of the school. And they're like, what do you mean you never took it out of the school? And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And I never could do that again.
So you snitched on yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, they accused me of stealing a $72 book. And I'm like, you really think I stole a book, guys? Is that really is that what we're doing here?
You were selling it.
I was selling it on the low. If you guys need that, hit me up on Spark Notes. Yo, I got that 10th grade geometry down to a T, boy.
Oh my God. Do we have headlines?
We do indeed. Your Miami Heat take on the New Orleans Pelicans. Let's check Ira Winderman's Twitter, see if he has any information on potential injuries. We know that we've been dealing with Bam Adebayo, who is listed as questionable with his back contusion. Tyler Hero, still no word on him. Duncan Robinson, seeing a specialist. There's a name for what Duncan Robinson is actually suffering from. And I think it's essentially compared to arthritis of the spine or something like that, where I think he's just been carrying the team on his back and it hurts, dude. God, it just absolutely hurts, bro.
Stop it.
Give yourself a -1.
Yeah. What?
-1.
No way.
What's wrong with you?
He has some sort of injury that is compared to that, but he's had a great year though. So I think this is unfortunate because I did have him as my leader for most improved, but I feel like any sort of injury is going to kind of take you out of that. As of 21 hours ago, Will Manso kind of just echoed the same points that I mentioned here. Tyler Hero, foot, Kevin Love, heel, and Duncan Robinson all remain out. Bam Adebayo is listed as questionable. Game time decision. You know how the Miami Heat do. They're pretty close to the vest with that one. So we'll find out a little bit closer. Let's get a quick update on the FAU Owls. We're
at the half.
Nice. What's the score looking like, Vlad?
We are at the half, and the score is the FAU Owls are leading Northwestern 20-19 at the half. This is a terribly low-scoring game. In other games, Baylor, the 3 seed, is leading Colgate 45-25 with 4 minutes left in the first half.
Yes, Colgate. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend.
I just don't want to. All right, you know my theory about this, right?
What's this?
Did anybody ever talk to that one? Out of
No
the
one's ever
5 that said no. Like, why does anybody ever talk to that one?
That's
Maybe
true.
maybe he or she had a legitimate reason for not,
Yeah.
co-signing. So why can't we listen to that person? Why hasn't nobody ever talked to that 1 out of 5 dentists?
That's true. Like 4 out of 5, you hear that and you're like, wow, that's amazing. That's
Right?
80%. I'll take that for
Right.
sure. You don't even
But
question it. I want to
but you
talk to
don't
that 1
question
out of
that
5.
20%. Why won't we question that 20%? Maybe that 20% has a legitimate reason.
You know what, Vlad?
That
You
one
bring
was
up a good
paid by
point.
Crest.
Oh yeah, the fifth dentist was like, no,
Because
that
my
is
theory's always been this. Clearly, that fifth person was qualified because he or she's one of the 5.
Yep, absolutely. Who's to say that, this person's opinion is better or worse than the rest of them? It just happened to be that, 4 people chose the same one. So I
Because
think
I always think
I think you're onto something.
that one is always going to be right in the long run. Because eventually, what they saw was kind of, I don't trust it. Eventually happens, and then people, somebody might lose their teeth. A crazy case of gingivitis might happen. All type of gum diseases, and then it was like, yeah, because you used that fluoride, that toothpaste.
Is there
So I
anything
always
that's
wanted
ever
to trust that one.
been highly rated that a lot of people have been like, oh, you're gonna love this, and then you embark on said suggested item and it's not what you think it is, or it's not as good as people say it is? Has that ever
Yeah,
happened to you?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, I got him, folks.
Wow.
I got him.
No, I just said you. No. I
He's
I
on
knew
my
you threw me
side,
that.
baby.
I threw.
He's
You know what
on
that
my
He
was?
was just
That was an
waiting for that
alley oop
smile
to
on your
me.
face.
That was an
Yeah.
alley oop to me, and then I threw the alley right back to you.
It's messed up. RVA Richie says this show. Well, screw you, RVA Richie. I didn't realize that we were disappointing and underwhelming. I don't know. You know what? And I can't say it's necessarily because it's bad. I just can't really get into it. Breaking Bad, dude. Breaking Bad to me is something that I've never really been able to get into.
Or the zombie one. Which one's the zombie?
Walking
Oh,
Dead?
Walking Dead.
The Walking
Oh,
Dead.
wait. Can I talk to you guys about The Walking Dead for a second?
I mean,
Sure, you're not gonna spoil anything for me.
All right, I'm going to try to avoid any spoilers, right? The Walking Dead was an important show in my family. When it started, that was something we all gathered around and we would watch on Sundays together. It was good at some point.
So
At one point. Yeah.
So hold on before you continue. So
Yeah.
your family gathered together to watch Walking Dead.
Yes,
Now
indeed.
let's break this down. There's been generations of people that have watched shows together as a family.
Yes.
People watch, the Cosby Show.
Cosby
People watch
Show, dude.
Seinfeld. People watch
Yep.
Friends.
RVA Richie was on The Walking Dead.
He might have been.
Yes, he
I could
was.
see
No,
that.
he was for sure. He was.
You know what?
I can see that.
Oh, you're gonna
I
watch it?
can
You're gonna...
probably give it a chance now because
Nice.
RVA
RVA
Richie.
Richie.
Point for
RVA.
RVA Richie.
Yep.
But you decided, see, people watch comedy shows, family
Yeah,
shows.
lighthearted.
Lighthearted. You and your family decided to watch a show about zombies.
Zombie
killing
Oh,
apocalypse.
what are you
End
talking
of the
about,
world.
Vlad? That was
Yeah.
my entire childhood. I used to love watching things with my dad all the time. I still do to this day.
Dark stuff.
We
stuff.
watch very
Yeah.
weird
I understand
stuff.
that, J Fig. Your whole vibe is goth, dark
that's true.
stuff, all of that. You're the only person
Makes
that can get a
sense.
tan and still look pale. But Marcos,
It's their soul. Yeah.
Marcos,
Yeah.
but Marcos,
Yeah. Usually happy go lucky,
yeah. Why that? Why is The Walking Dead that brought the whole Marcos
It
family
was the
together?
whole thing that was trending back then.
Bro,
A
you
lot
got
of people would
exactly.
do this.
You got to remember this was post Sopranos, right? But this was before Game of Thrones. So as far as like weekly watching television, Walking Dead was one of the only options. I'm not going to sit here and watch Mad Men with my family. What the hell are we doing here? Mad Men? Garbage. I don't want to watch that. This guy he works at an ad agency. It's not too many options in regards to like family watching. This was honestly, at one point, The Walking Dead, prior to killing Glenn, to where everybody, got this is some of the best television I've ever seen. I rewatched it, and some of those early seasons are some of them dragged.
You rewatched The Walking Dead?
Oh, I did this. Yeah, I did this like maybe it was during the pandemic, but yeah. And the reason why I did this, and Scooby, 1 second, please. I apologize, Scooby. The reason why I did this was Scooby shocked. Scooby's like, "Why the hell did you do that?"
Scooby was like, "Why would you do that?"
One of the reasons why I did is because look, The Walking Dead, a lot of its main characters either left or found different jobs. For example, Deny Geary or something like that. She ended up going with what's that, Black Panther. So a lot of the main characters died off, right? It had to reinvent itself as a good show. Whatever, cool. That show's good, but I'm not here to convince you about the show and watching it. The reason why I bring this up today is because now that everyone's career is kind of slowed down, now they're getting back into it. The Walking Dead is now split into spin-offs. Now, if you were a fan of when Rick or Michonne, which were the main characters of The Walking Dead, experienced, the apocalypse in the most badass way possible, and then were sad when they were gone, there is now a spin-off show that is only revolving around Rick and Michonne. So forget everything else, and I got to worry about this guy and that guy and who's the villain, blah, blah, blah. It's the two main characters that you want. They have their own show now, and they're about 4 episodes deep into their spin-off series that they're writing and producing. And of course, I'm locked into it. The last episode that I saw last night, Emmy-worthy, dude. And you know who wrote it? Denai Geary, the same lady from Black Panther. She's writing episodes now. It's Rick and Michonne. Trim all the fat. Emmy, dude. Emmy-worthy. The Walking Dead is back. It's the best show on television, I'm telling you. You can take Love is Blind.
Where can I watch any of this? I'm sorry, I don't know.
HBO. No, I think it's Amazon. It's either AMC Plus or
Amy?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on AMC or like AMC. I'll tell you what, these
It's
streaming
probably
companies.
I think it's AMC.
There's too many of them for me to
It's
catch up.
definitely AMC Plus, but these streaming things do something weird where they're like, if you don't want AMC Plus, we can give you AMC Plus, but through Amazon Prime. So it's like, do I have AMC or do I have Amazon Prime with like an extra boost? I don't know. Either way, somehow I'm paying $43 a month in subscriptions, and I don't even know what the hell I have. But if you have the opportunity, I think it's called We Are the Ones Who Live. Walking Dead. You watch that. Walking Dead is back.
Basically,
Dude.
Vlad looks very convinced.
No, he's making it seem like he's making it sound like Walking Dead is like the new Law and Order. Like there's gonna be spin-offs of this.
You
and
know
it's gonna be
what?
like Walking Dead for the next 35 years because there's
That's
gonna
exactly
be like
what it is.
Walking Dead Arm Edition, Arm Off Edition, Walking Dead Legs Off Edition. Like there's
Okay.
Law and Order SVU and Law and Order. Walking Dead,
No,
all type
100%.
of things. So
That's
there's gonna be
exactly what it
spin-offs on spin-offs.
Yeah, for example, another famous character, Daryl. He's the one with the crossbow, would ride on the motorcycle. He has his own spinoff as well. So it's like, it's just giving me the characters that I want. And I appreciate that. It's got a little mumbo jumbo. How many times, it seems in the post-apocalyptic world, there's always that
Is
one
it a
guy who
mixed
wants
bag?
to take over the world.
Is it becoming a mixed bag?
At one point, it was too much of a mixed bag. It was like that mixed bag that you get that's like, even more raisins, huh? Can't give me any more M&Ms. This is a lot of raisins in this trail mix here. But it's gotten better, dude. I was like, what the hell do I just pick them out? Like, why did they even put this in here? Please. But look, I could be biased because, like I said, it was a show that my family and I enjoyed for quite some time. But if you have an opportunity to watch it, that's going to be my recommendation of the weekend. If you're not at Ultra, if you're not watching Kung Fu Panda or something in the movie theaters,
Halloween.
I'm honestly really excited for that
Kung Fu
Beetlejuice movie
Pandas.
coming back.
Yeah, it's coming in September, but the trailer dropped. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, make sure you get a
I
chance to watch
did.
it.
I got tagged on it yesterday.
Damn. They're like, this is J-Fig. This is right up J-Fig's alley.
Well, it
for
was
sure.
actually one of my favorite movies growing up. So yeah,
Nice. Have you ever said Beetlejuice 3 times in a row?
many times.
You said Candyman?
Ooh.
Actually, you know what? My childhood was funny.
Okay. So I'm gonna say yes. Bloody Mary, you guys done that one?
My childhood was funny.
All right,
Red Rum?
cool. So, all right. So we've conjured all the spirits that we possibly can for this
Yeah,
segment.
this is it. And in this beautiful cloudy day, yeah, conjure up all the spirit. They love this.
We're feeding into the vibe.
Be careful, everyone in Ultra. The spirits have been conjured. And when we come back, we're actually going to play our favorite Friday game, You're Dead to Me. That's next on the Tobin and Leroy Show.
WQA
You're dead to me.
You're the worst. You're absolutely the worst.
Me? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
We're doing a sort of segment. You're dead to me, and then what do you bring? You bring in your cohort, your partner in crime. How can anybody be dead to you right now?
You know?
Look at him. He's adorable.
He's so cute.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Say thank you,
Look
little
how
boy.
he looks at you.
Yeah, he looks at me not because he has his endearing love with me. He looks at me because I got these puffs in my hand. He knows what's up. Got to give him one of these blueberry puffs. You know, that's how I keep him quiet. You know, you got to pay them off real quick, and then he won't bother me for quite some time.
Oh my goodness. Squeeze some little cheeks.
We are live back here on the Tobin and Leroy show. You can catch us on the Odyssey app. You can catch us on YouTube and Twitch, Miami 560 WQAM. Time now for our favorite Friday game. You're dead to me. My dead to me kind of ties into my child because I remember. Okay, no, okay.
Please rephrase that.
Yes, let me preface this with my child is not my selection for this week's You're Dead to Me. But when I was a wee little lad, like this gentleman to my right here, excuse me, sir, I'm in the middle of a show. I don't know if you
just sneezed.
I don't know what that was. So, he ate all his blueberry puffs. He needs some more. I'm telling you, this guy is a terrorist. Like,
Yo, he's quick. He's really quick.
Really. So, when I was around his age, a little bit older, I'd say honestly till I was about 12, maybe. I was an avid fan of Nickelodeon. You know, some people were.
No. Okay,
some people were Disney fans. Some people were Cartoon Network fans. Vlad used to watch, I don't know, Bebe's Kids or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what.
I wasn't watching Nickelodeon. That's why.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think around the time that people were getting slimed, Vlad was somewhere in FAU getting lit. Definitely. But there's a new documentary that came out.
Ooh, what is it? So is it like
that
so
documentary
was like what was the baby version of the WWE? Oh, look at him smiling.
Yeah, he's happy.
Stop.
He's a happy boy.
I can't be serious in this segment. Can I babysit him one day? He's so cute.
He's adorable, but his poops are. Hey, I'll tell you what, his poops are legit. Excuse me, sir. Hey,
stop talking about my poop.
Give me a second,
stop talking about my poop. I'm sorry for the radio audience, the audio audience. Yes, Marcos has his little baby tadpole next to him.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to keep him occupied, but I promise, guys, he abuses me.
So what happened at Nickelodeon, man?
So yes, at Nickelodeon, there was some shows, if you guys remember, during the 90s. They kind of struck gold with some shows. If you guys remember All That, the Amanda Show.
These were shows that I loved watching.
Iconic shows. At that time, it was groundbreaking, both to have a sketch comedy show led by children for children, and then to have another sketch comedy show led by a woman. Even to this day, you know, hasn't necessarily happened too much. You're doing too much, son. Come on, I'm trying to talk here. You get me out here. What? Okay, so anyway, there's this documentary that came out. It's called Quiet on Set. It is causing quite a bit of a stir now, as it is really surrounding the unsafe work environments that there was during this time. Specifically created by showrunner and producer Dan Schneider. He is someone who's responsible for All That, for the Amanda Show, for iCarly, and
for Drake and
Josh. And there's so many different things that are coming out now about how he created unsafe work environments. He had only 2 female writers on his staff.
And split a salary.
Had them split a salary, dude, and had them believe that was okay.
And I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's just astonishing to me how I watched this. And this is things that you kind of look at, and then you work in the improv for a certain amount of time, and then you realize that there's still women out here struggling to be a part of the comedic world. And then it just blows my mind how this happened 30 years ago, less than 30 years ago. And not much change has been happening. Nothing has been really done to fix this problem.
One of the
Never
things that
thought the
she
fat boy, never thought the fat boy from head of the class would have been doing all of this.
right. That is, I didn't even know honestly he was in that, but
Yeah,
you know,
he was in a show with Robin Givens, and his
Yep.
actually think his I want to say what's his name? Brian Robbins, because Brian Robbins was also in that show, and he was also helping create a lot of the great show those kid shows in Nickelodeon at the time. So yeah, kid, it's crazy.
he was a fan. He was a fan of them for sure.
So, but yeah, the fat kid from head of the class.
He got himself a nice
RV
position in
shows.
Nickelodeon, and man, he was running amok there, bro. He was running amok. It was definitely emotional abuse that was going on, which for some reason gets my baby excited. Not sure what about that really triggers him. But there was so many things that are now coming to light that are putting some of my favorite child stars in, you know, in different positions, that it's unfortunate to see that some of my favorite shows were filmed in such irresponsible environments. And you know, there has been advancements and progressions for sure, but like J Fig mentioned, and like they mentioned in the documentary, not much has changed, man. There's some video clips that I see of Ariana Grande, which I'm not sure how this is going to go over.
Intense.
Bro,
And the thing is that when I was
crazy.
watching these things, I knew there was something was off. I knew something was wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I was always like, whoa, they really have a thing for toes and like feet in Nickelodeon.
The
It was always so
Nickelodeon
strange.
symbol,
It's a
the
foot.
little, it's an actual foot.
Yeah. Strange. But there's innuendos, there's like jokes, there's like adult jokes and pornographic references in these kids shows that, you know, go over your head as a child, but looking back on these things as an adult, like I can imagine, you know, if I'm sitting here with my baby and he's watching these shows, I'm like, what the hell is on TV? Like, I don't want him watching this. There's certain things with Ariana Grande, certain specific clips that truly to this day make me feel uncomfortable. And with someone with her status and her money, I'm sure, you know, there's going to be some legal ramifications for a lot of the stuff that's going on. And
it makes me sad that something that made us so happy back then was so dark and twisted.
Yeah, it definitely was. So with that being said, my dead to me goes to Dan Schneider and anyone else who contributed to such a horrible work environment during the 90s Nickelodeon era.
You're dead to me.
I will piggyback on that also.
You're dead to me.
That is not the one I was trying to put. Sorry.
You're dead to me.
My baby has decided this is going to be the time in which he speaks as much as he's ever spoken before.
Well, he wants to say who's frog to him.
Who's that to you, baby boy?
You. He just said you.
Did he just say hi?
I think he did. One more time. Oh,
He said
hey,
hi. Wow.
That's amazing. He literally did it on command too. I want to do it one more time. He forgot to talk that time.
No, he just smiled. He was like, he was
Wait,
just
is this his first time ever almost reaching a word?
So he
does he know how to
says
say dad?
He
Does he
says
say dada?
Dada, but it's not like he's saying father. He's just like
what?
mixing together whatever words he knows. He's like,
give him the mic. Pass me the mic.
Microphone.
One more time, baby boy. Who's dead to you? That kid is adorable. I'm not gonna lie to you. That kid is adorable. Vlad, who's dead to you, my friend?
I don't know now. The kid just, the kid is just taking over the segment. Now.
He's throwing it all
You can't
off.
be negative when a kid is just happy.
So
And he really wants that microphone back.
Okay, one more time. Son, can you take us to break, please? There you go. More of the Tobin and Leroy show next.
This hour of Tobin and Leroy
I appreciate the song choice.
Yeah. That's right. We are live on the Tadpole and Marco show. Live here on 560 WQAM. We're about to get out of here to make way for Hockman and Crowder, who are going to be on this station 2 to 6 prior to your Miami Heat.
Can you take us to break?
Before I do,
that was my mistake.
Nah, it's fine. Before I do, I wanted to see if we can get an update. Hey, sir, excuse me.
It upset the kid.
We're going to get an update on the FAU game, which is currently in action, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
they are going against Northwestern, and I believe it's start of the second half. Vlad, do you have a score for us by any chance?
I do have a score, and the FAU Owls are down 46-39 with 9 minutes left. Make that 46-41 as a player just scored, number 23 for FAU. 46-41, 9 minutes remaining in the second half. First game in the Brooklyn region right now. Well, the first game out of Brooklyn so far. But yes, the Owls are down 46-41 with under 9 minutes.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's definitely still time left, but based off how that game started, I mean, they're on a scoring barrage.
Oh my God. I mean, Jesus, they scored 40. Both teams combined for 40 points. That's more points than they scored in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
It was 20-19 in the first half.
Not necessarily a barn burner there, but hopefully the FAU Owls can pull it off so we can have some sort of local connection. Did you? I don't know if you guys saw that. He definitely took the entire.
Yeah, he did.
thing.
Yeah, he did.
You robbed me.
He went greedy on you.
All right, I'm getting bullied here, guys. We're gonna get out of here again. Make way for Hockman and Crowder. It's been a
Give the boy what he wants.
I will. I'm telling you, he's nice and cute on camera, but he hits and he bites when no one's looking.
He's gonna beat you up once the camera's off.
Very frog behavior.
Everyone, have fun
see
at
me?
Ultra. Raiden, do you have anything to say? Okay, he's eating a puff, but do you have anything to say to our audience, my friend?
Raiden, who's winning tonight? Heat or Pelicans?
Yeah.
I think
That sounded like Heat.
Pretty good.
Sounded like Heat.
That
Now,
sounded like
Who's winning tomorrow? Rangers or Panthers?
Rangers or Panthers? Who you got?
Yay.
Oh,
He
he's
said none. He
gonna
said
be
none.
close. More or
What
less.
about all right, we have Inter Miami versus New York City tomorrow.
Inter Miami versus the Red Bulls. Who you got, son? All right, so I think that's
Suarez.
I heard Miami. He
I heard
said Miami.
Suarez. That's what I heard.
more or less.
Stay safe this weekend, guys. There's bad weather, and also it's Ultra weekend, so a lot of stuff is going on out there. Please be careful and drive safe.
Both Miami and Fort Lauderdale, be careful out there. A lot of events are going on, concerts, games. Just be safe. Don't have to step out if you don't need to. And please drive safely, South Florida drivers, because you guys cannot drive in the rain.
It's true. It is absolutely true. Thank you again for joining us. And everyone, we will see you guys next week.